Today, after a full week, I have completed a world conquest in EU5, and it's almost a one tag. There is just a couple of things, which is that there's some pirate republics of our colonial nations. So you could argue this is a one tag. I say it kind of isn't, but yeah, our only subjects are colonial nations. If we look at subject tab here, we can see it's all colonial nations. Now, you might be wondering how this is even close to possible, considering you have to conquer like 18,000 locations between us and our subjects. And the main answer to that is this one country modifier, the Emir's Destiny. This lets us auto-conquer when at war for the whole game and is incredibly overpowered. Without it, this run would have been pretty much impossible. So how do you get this modifier? Well, you have to play as Timur, and then you get the modifier if you are not Sunni when a certain event triggers, you get this option. But the modifier, you lose it when you run out of the Rise of Temur, and as you might notice, we don't have the Rise of Temur anymore. It is possible to keep it by just constantly having above 50 stat rulers, but that requires a little bit too much save scumming. I did do some save scumming in this run, but not that much. And so what I did is formed Russia, and it turns out if you form any country other than Mongolia as the Timurids, the situation disappears without removing the modifiers. Now, there are two very minor caveats. One, there's this country in Mexico, which I can't declare war on because it supposedly doesn't exist. I'm not restarting the run because the game glitched and made a country that doesn't exist own locations. It's so weird. And the second caveat is that I accidentally turned on debug mode because I was testing a ton of things, and every time you have to put in -debug_mode and then remove it, and sometimes I forgot to do that. Pretty sure all the times were before like 1440, but it did happen a couple of times. There'll be a bunch of different saves in the description in case you want to check them out. Now it's time to go back to the beginning, but trust me, it's going to be interesting. I conquered all of China as Chagatai before Timur spawns, which is 1360. Well, it's time to begin the setup for the world conquest. I'm going to set culture and religion conversions to present in country. This is achievement compatible. It seems a little bit weird that it's achievement compatible, but we're going to be taking full advantage of that in this run. Now, you might be wondering why I picked Chagatai specifically. As you might know, Barless can also spawn Timurids. And yeah, the reason we're picking this is for the Timurids, but the reason we picked Chagatai for the Timurids is if we can move our capital to the west of Samarkand, then everything that's closer to Samarkand than our capital will go to the Timurids. And we can conquer a significant portion of China. And then all of that would go to the Timurids. And that is going to be really strong, I think. So that's going to be the main goal for this first 23 years as we get ready for the Timurids to spawn in 1360. And we need to get a Conquistador expedition in order to actually be able to conquer a significant fraction of China. So that is going to be like the first big thing we go for, is getting Conquistador expedition. It's going to take a lot of stability to do that, though. So much stability, it's insane. Rival Golden Horde, Gurgen, and Delhi. Now, I'm going to grant some of our subjects independence because we cannot afford to keep them as subjects. It simply costs too much diplomatic capacity. We're still going to be way over a diplo capacity cap. It's going to go, our costs are going to go way up. Like Yasa Uri is going to cost like 5 or something. So we're going to be super dead. Yeah, we'll do that. Max out cost of court, max out diplomatic spending, max out stability, no food spending, pops can starve, we don't care about that. We need to delete all of the castles in our country because they're so much money, we cannot afford them. And then I'm also going to shut down all of the marketplaces in our country because they are actually a scam. The marketplaces are increasing our economic base a ton, which actually is costing us more in stability, diplomatic, and cost of court, so it's not worth doing. Then for religious aspects, I'm going to pick up this army morale. That'll be useful for fighting Golden Horde and then eventually Yuan. For text, we want to go straight for the diplomatic capacity because that's going to be important. And we also need to accept some cultures. We need to accept Khwarezmian because that's going to be important. We're not going to accept any other cultures for now, but what I am going to do is unaccept Tajik and Uzbek because it's too much cultural capacity for too little reward. Now for cabinet, I'm going to have one guy doing strengthen government and the other one doing stabilize country. Both of these are going to be pretty important because we're needing a lot of stability and horde unity for all of the laws that we need to pass in the first like 15 years. We have so much stuff we have to get through. Oh, I forgot, I was supposed to declare this war day 1, but it doesn't actually matter. Oh, actually they allied Kara Unas. That's a little bit unfortunate, but it's not a big deal. Or not day 1, but as soon as we were allowed to, which is May 1st. Okay, yeah, we lost out on some levies we could raise. If you raise for 1st of May, then you get like 10,000 for some reason. I'm not really sure exactly why it's higher, but it is. Yeah, this shouldn't be too much of a problem, really. We can just grab our troops and put them over here. We're going to be trying to fight the Golden Horde's army. We want a pretty mild peace deal. We're just going to take this, and then we're also going to ask them for military access and war reparations. We might not ask for war reps. It depends on how the battles go and stuff, but that's pretty much what we want to do. The reason we need military access is we want to conquer over to Kappa, because this happens to contain 542 Catholics. And that would mean we can flip to Catholic religion if we conquer it. Apparently our subjects have already started losing battles, but what I'm going to do is tell my army to carpet siege all of the eastern parts of the Golden Horde, and then I'm going to split off, or it's going to split off a big stack from this army usually. So in this case, we got like the 4,500 stack, and we're going to merge that with this 500 stack, because I think this is a little bit too small. In fact, I'm going to grab some more stacks and merge them in, because usually you get a little bit of a bigger stack than this. We want like 6,000 at least to stand a good chance against the Golden Horde. And then the plan is to just kind of follow at the front of our carpet siege pack with our army to make sure that we can defend against the Golden Horde's army and beat it. And then once we beat it, we'll get a lot of war score. Oh, the Golden Horde is an army that's like actually the exact same size as mine, pretty much. So we're gonna try our best to beat it. I don't know if our army's actually stronger. I imagine we have better discipline modifiers and stuff than them. Yeah, the game says my army is better. We should try to chase them. Yeah, apparently they're able to escape. Oh, but can they escape here? Yeah, no, they cannot. That is good. Okay, we did win that battle. Just barely. Gonna keep chasing them, I guess. Fighting them again here. Looks like we win that again. Yep. Very good. 25 war score. Now they're almost willing to accept peace. Okay, now they're willing to accept peace with full money as well. Very good. So we'll sign that peace deal with the golden, or with the Golden Horde. Then we will immediately no CB Kappa, because that's our next war. After this, we can be at peace for a while, but we just need to finish off our wars. I should probably move them here. I'm moving all the small stacks away from going there. Only the 3K stack I'm sending there now. That stack I should just put a send right in. Okay, I full occupied Kappa. Now I can demand their country, max money. I guess I should actually ask for humiliation as well. And yeah, that'll be pretty nice. Now, I can bring this army back. Although actually I should disband the levies from it. Apparently I cannot right now. I'm not really sure why. Sometimes you can disband levies and sometimes you can't as a horde. It's a little bit weird. Okay, well, we'll see if we send it back to our country, if that'll let us disband it. Like the majority of our country. Okay, well, now what we want to do is swap from tribal oldest male to matrilineal non-exclusive, because this will remove our heir. The reason we want to not have an heir is because to get rid of legacy of Chinggis Khan, we need to have our ruler not be of the Borjigin dynasty, and that means we need to get rid of this dynasty. So yeah, we need to kill our ruler somehow. For some reason, splitting the levies into a different army let me disband them. I'll do increased ties to neighbors' parliament. I don't think there's anything important to do in parliament here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything important. I mean, we could do like favor the ruler or whatever, but like we cannot tax people anyway. Like, look at their estate satisfaction. To be honest, I should maybe even just, I should definitely not tax the tribesmen. I don't know. It's tough. Oh, is our economic base getting increased again from trade? Yeah, it is. I need to close more marketplaces. Where it's probably just the new territory we conquered, or what's going on? For some reason, these markets had trade capacity. I don't know why, but that's pretty unfortunate. Maybe now that should help out our economy just a little bit to get the economic base down. Didn't actually get it back down to 14.5. I'm not sure why. I think I should probably actually avoid taxing the commoners so that I can get a ton of estate satisfaction on them, and then, the pop satisfaction will give us more control, which will give us slightly more levies, which is kind of important. I'm going to swap religion to Catholicism. We have to do it at some point so we can become a conquistador. So I'm going to do it now. Now I'm going to start fabricating a CB on Yasa Uri for disloyal subject. because we need to own Samarkand for our shenanigans to work correctly. Oh, I forgot to start integrating. I'm supposed to be integrating this. I think strengthening government is less important. But we want to integrate this because this is where we're going to eventually move our capital. I need to accept Nogai before I run out of prestige. It's the Age of Renaissance. I'll pick up admin focus. I don't think it matters. I actually don't know if those will get transferred to Timarids. I think they might, but I'm really unsure about that. Disloyal subject has been justified on Yasuri. Now, unfortunately, the CB, I don't think it's supposed to work like this, but you cannot declare it against your subjects. Oh, we have to have more than minus 50 stab. Well, what I was going to do is release them as independent. I was going to click cancel vassal status, and for some reason this doesn't create a truce. But I guess we're going to have to wait till we're over 50 stab to do that. Okay, we're over 50 stab finally. I don't know why it took so long. I think I got some event that gave me like minus 7 stab or something. But, yeah, as soon as I get my diplomat en route back, we can declare war on them for disloyal subject. And yeah, that'll be nice. Because we need to own Samarkand. Timurids can still spawn if you don't own Samarkand, but they won't get your territory, so that's why you have to conquer Samarkand. There was so many failed attempts where I just didn't conquer Samarkand, and I was confused about why I wasn't getting it. But yeah, that's the reason why you don't get the territory. Because in my testing, I was like giving it via the event, and if you just manually spawn the event, then of course it'll be fine. But since the event requires owning Samarkand, and the event triggers fine, but it triggers for the wrong country is the problem. So it doesn't use your territory. So that's why you need to, yeah, conquer Samarkand. It's very important. It'd be nice if the kid told you you needed to do that. Okay, I can full annex Yasa Uri. Now, the question is, what do I want to release as subjects here? What? Okay, I don't know why Transoxiana just got released, but I'm pretty sure this doesn't affect the ability for Timur to spawn. The question is what we want to release as subjects now. And I think that the answer to that is a lot, especially because we just lost Barless for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But I'm going to create a custom subject here in Bukhara, Vassal. I mean, doing just as a tributary actually wouldn't be terrible. But I'm going to give them a lot of the stuff over here, except for Samarkand itself. Yeah, that seems like a fine vassal. And then how are like the provinces done? Yeah, okay, I can release another one in this province, I guess. We'll see how that it kind of depends on where the capital goes. I don't know where the capital will go. Okay, it goes there. I can feed that this province as well then, because this is where we're going to move the capital. And I've already accepted Nogai, so that's fine, right? Yeah, I already accepted Nogai. Oh, that's nice. I just got a 10% army morale event. Yeah, that's going to be really nice. I just deleted my trade, so that made my cost a lot lower. Stability investment cost is so high because I apparently have nowhere near as big of an army as I'm expected to have. Well, I think it's time for war with Great Yuan, or almost time. What I'm going to quickly do is call a parliament and ask for larger levies. That should increase my levy count a lot, from like 6,900 way, way up, right? Because like a lot of these, the penalty, yeah, minus 95%. And so this is going to double our levies pretty much. Yeah. In that place at least. So probably most of our country. Yeah, 14,000 potential levies. That's a lot better. So I'm going to have to no CB Yuan, but it is what it is. We're going to raise our levies. And what happens with the Conquistador expedition if you get it mid-war is you don't actually take the conquest immediately, but when you grant it to a subject and then grant it back to yourself, then you can conquer it. So that's going to be pretty nice. We have around, like, I think I want to get Conquistador expedition in like 1352 or something. We'll at least call one more parliament approved levies, I think, before we do it. Because Conquistador expedition removes the parliament, and the parliament approved levies will make us able to get so much out of like the Wu culture or something. If we accept Wu, we'll be able to get like so many levies, like 25,000 from Wu alone. And I don't think there's that many forts in this region. That's the plan, to go to this region of eastern China, because I think there's relatively few forts. Yeah, there's only like 2 forts really that are a huge problem. And we're going to try to conquer, I guess we're going to try to conquer all 4 of the forts here. Or at least these 3 are going to be most important ones to conquer. But we don't need to really worry about anything else, I think. I'm going to have one double split that is dedicated to just defense of our core lands. And then the rest of our stack, it's going to go, straight into the enemy's country. Who's like first, we'll take our first stop like there. Yeah, we need to try to get into this fort as quickly as possible in this region. This is what we want to start conquering because there's so many pops here. Okay, army's fully recovered in morale, so I'm now just going to click here and we'll see what path paradoxes the AI decides I need to follow. Okay, that seems like a pretty reasonable path. We just need to hope we don't get intercepted by Korea because they do have a stronger army than us. Or actually, it's probably pretty similar because we do have really good army morale modifiers, or just army modifiers in general, like 20% discipline. And what's our army morale? It's probably going to be really good too. Army morale, we have plus 10% only? I thought we would have way more than that. Ruler is Craven. Right. Oh, right, I'm not, what's it called? I'm not Tengri anymore, so I'm not getting as much. I'm gonna flip Khorezmian as my primary culture because this is gonna be necessary in order to revoke the legacy of Chinggis Khan reform. It needs you to not have a Borjikin, and you need to not have your primary culture be Mongolian. Oh, the army is dying from attrition from having no food. I'm gonna occupy a province so it can refill on food. Yeah, that's gonna be kind of essential. Oops. Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake. Lost like a couple thousand guys from that. Yeah, I'm going for this Shangyuan fort. The question is, how worried about Korea am I? Because if I'm worried about Korea, I can keep this as one stack, or I can do like two. I should probably do at least two stacks, one for Jiangdu and one for Shangyuan. And then we'll move on to the next set of forts after these ones, because we've got a lot of forts to conquer. So yeah, it's probably best to do it this way. I think that makes the most sense. Army's running out of food. Apparently there's no food in this province, so I'm gonna have to go for like yeah, this province, I guess. Hopefully they don't just stack wipe my army while it's gone. That would be really unfortunate, but I don't think that they have random armies just lying around that can do that. Just like at the flip of a switch, so I think I should be fine, right? Just gonna siege that down, because they haven't sieged this stuff, right? That's why I'm pretty confident in that. Created the 71 stack, and I'm going to bring this into a climate of Arctic. The reason I'm doing this is that I want to better kill this ruler, because he's living a little bit too long, and we need him dead so that we can swap out Legacy of Chinggis Khan. I actually need to do something with my 3k stack. They actually have an army here. I got Shangyuan. Now I'll go down to this one, and then I'll go for the fort after that. Oh, we got that as well. Okay, then I'll go for you into Guangzhou. Very good. All of this is like the most populated land of China. Look at this population increase. I think this is like from me conquering slaves from Yuan. Like every location we occupy, it's so many slaves. 47,000 slaves? Like what? This is a little bit insane. The states are just gonna be 80% slaves. Wait, I'm so confused about how I'm getting slaves if I'm a Catholic. Does like being a horde give you something to do with slave rating? Oh, yep, step slave rating. Yuan's actually trying to siege the fort, so I'm going to detach from siege, and I'm gonna try to beat them. The only problem is that I think this army is mostly professionals, so I'm actually not sure that we can win that. The game says I can win it, so I'm gonna trust in the game, and it's probably gonna backfire, but we're just gonna believe. Okay, we're actually winning that. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we win that. Nice. I guess I'll go for this fort while I'm at, or not this fort, this tile while I'm at it, right? Might as well. I got the fort of Wuxing. That's very nice. Or Wuxan. Now I can siege down all of like Suzhou area. Our borders are getting pretty good. I mean, like all of this territory we have occupied right now is probably like 10 million pops or something insane. No, that's probably more than 10 million pops, really. Or no, not yet, but pretty soon we should have more than 10 million pops occupied. It's kind of insane. Okay, now our army's up here. I'm going to assign... Oh, I need to assign a different general to the army that's already being led by him. And now I should be able to assign him to this army. Yep. And that should kill him pretty quickly. And that's gonna be nice. We need him dead. I just saw 18,000 Koreans. I need to retreat. That's really bad. Uh-oh. Yep, there they are. Yeah, that's scary. We really need to hope that our ruler dies soon so that I can actually conquer this territory and then have really good levies. We can raise so many levies from this territory. Please, Korea, just try to siege one of the forts and then don't get super lucky. Or you can just sit there. That also sounds good. Are they like disloyal or something? I'm so confused why they're just sitting there. Oh, they are disloyal. Okay, that's good. Well, I got Hangzhou. I guess I'll keep going for more forts. It's just a little bit risky because anytime if Korea is so close to getting disloyal or so close to getting loyal again, and then they'll just immediately start going for me again. And they're loyal. Okay, well that's not very good, but not much we can do about it. We'll probably become disloyal again eventually. Our ruler has finally died. Very good. Now I can take the throne, this person, and I can revoke the legacy of Genghis Khan. Now, it is a bit of a question as to whether we want to go Conquistador expedition right now. We don't actually have enough prestige to accept Wu, which means we wouldn't actually get that many levies out of it. And I would like to be able to piece out all the Manchurians. Question is whether they would actually accept in like 1352 when they go independent. It'd be nice to piece them out because otherwise they're going to be super loyal and fight me. I mean, I need to wait till at least the parliament. Yeah, I need to wait till at least the parliament. We'll see by then what I'm feeling like. I think Korea might be trying to hunt my armies. I need to run, run from Korea. Uh-oh. Yeah, we need to run as best as we can from Korea. Okay, they've gone somewhere. I don't know why they're going that way. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try to go this way. You don't want to drop below 40 Horde unity. We'll get a disaster, or we'll have the potential for a disaster. Okay, Korea's going for this fort. I do actually wonder how close I would be to beating Korea if I were to fight them. I imagine that I lose, but it would be kind of interesting to see how close we are. I don't know. I just, yeah. Oh, the game actually thinks we win this? No way. I mean, with a 0 skill person leading our army, that seems kind of insane. Hmm. Well, we're just gonna believe, and we're gonna win the battle with the power of belief. You'll see the power of belief here. There goes their left flank, there goes the center, and there goes the right flank. 6,000 casualties for 1,800. I'd say that's a pretty fair trade. Korea is getting so close to being peaceable. They're at like 50 point something percent loyalty. If they would just go to just barely below 50, I could like give them a tiny bit of stuff to peace out, and that would be so nice. Please, Korea, just drop like 2% loyalty. Please. It's all I ask, Korea. Please. I kind of need to fight them in that fort, but also I'm kind of gonna lose that battle if I try to fight it. I mean, the game says I'm gonna win it. I guess I go for it again. Or no, but if I do this, then no. We just have to accept that we're probably gonna lose Huangzhou, because we're gonna be able to peace out Korea soon anyway, surely. At least at the start of 1351, they'll get like 20 loyalty. So that's like the latest that we can do it. Korea just dropped below 50%, so barely. And I guess they were at 50.06, so they were just barely not before. So, we'll take it. Offer tribute. 9 ducats. Korea, go away. Very nice. That's so good. We don't have to fight Korea anymore. Can we get rid of whoever you are? Shenyang? Are you disloyal or are you still loyal? Nope, they're still loyal, so we'll have to fight them, I guess. Because I don't want that fort to get taken if it is possible to avoid. Please don't siege it this time. Yes, they didn't. Okay, we get it. Nice. I'm getting quite a few peace offers at this point. Pretty soon we'll be able to send like all of Manchuria peace offers once 1351 rolls about, because then they'll get 20 extra loyalty, or 20 extra disloyalty, which should be enough for basically everyone to get under 50, I think. Yep, there it is, 1351. Now, Shenyang is still loyal? Dang, 72 loyalty, wow. But like, yeah, I imagine I can probably peace out now. Yep. And Ula. Yep. And Hada. Yep. Apparently this doesn't cost diplomats, so I'm actually just gonna peace out like everyone that I can. Okay, I peace out a pretty good amount of people. I think it's time to call Parliament and then begin the Conquistadoring. Call Parliament, increase ties to neighbors, ask for larger levies. Yeah, that Parliament approved levies for 3 years is going to be very nice, 25% levy size. Now I'm going to go into estates and Conquistador Expedition. Auto-conquer religious enemies. Unfortunately, it does block you from making peace, but that is very worth it. Now, what we can do is transfer the occupations to the Horde of Bukhara. Or I should have been doing it like this with the right click, because that way you get the whole thing. And then I can't actually transfer it back that at a whole province level at a time, so I have to transfer it back one location at a time, which is going to be a little bit tedious, but that is going to be what I have to do. By the way, you get an event every time you conquer a location as a conquistador, which is a little bit annoying. There is this option here that will remove the conquistador expedition, except it doesn't actually do anything, because what it actually does is it sends an event to your overlord that lets them remove it, and we don't have an overlord, so that doesn't do anything. So yeah. Well, I've transferred all of the locations to myself, so now we have 18 million pops because of that. Half of our pops are now woo. Now, we need more prestige so that we can accept woo, and then we'll get so many levies. Wait, what? We can already raise 50,000 levies? I thought we were going to be able to raise like 0 because we didn't have enough stuff. Shouldn't that math equal 0? Or is it just because I just conquered it that the math isn't quite adding up? Doing my math, what I think actually is happening is that not primary accepted culture is actually multiplicative. So that would explain why we're able to get 50,000 levies. If we could accept woo, we would be able to get so many more. But we cannot really accept woo, I think. I don't think there's a way I can get 2 prestige easily. So I'll just raise these 50,000 levies before something were to destroy them. Because yeah, 50,000 levies is going to be so much. We're going to be able to have like 10 stacks to siege a ton of Yuan forts at once. They are going to be lacking a lot of food apparently though. It's a little bit of a problem, but we should be able to fix that kind of easily. Gurgen just declared war on me. I don't know what they're thinking. That doesn't really seem very reasonable, but okay. I guess I need to try to defend yeah, this tile with like everything, because if I lose that, that'll actually be a problem because I want to move my capital there. So I don't know. Yeah, that's really not ideal that Gurgen has declared war on me because I have the no peace offering. That's annoying. So what I'm going to do for this army is I'm going to split it up into eighths, and then once I have the eighths, I will set them all to focus siege all of China. Actually, I think China has a weak enough army that I'm kind of fine actually splitting this up into sixteenths. Each stack will be like 2,500 still, which I think is good enough to beat any stack that the Yuan will have. You could even split this up into 30 seconds maybe, but I don't think that's necessary. I don't know if there's even like 32 remaining forts in Yuan. So yeah, we'll just do sixteenths, and that should be good enough. Now we tell them all, focus siege, and I'm gonna shift click all of the Chinese regions, and that'll be very nice. I think I'm not gonna do their subjects, but yeah, we're gonna get as much of China as we can. 1563 locations. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to siege them all, but we have like 9 years. There's these Jixons and marketplaces that I'm spending a lot of money on. I'm gonna try to turn all of those off. I'm gonna have to turn them off quite often because yeah, they cost a lot of money, and every time we conquer a place, we're gonna get more and more of them. This is kind of nice for 10% army movement speed, but yeah, I'm gonna fight Gurgen here. This is like the vast majority of their army, I think, that I just beat. Yeah, they don't have very many troops, but they do have some subjects that are a bit of a problem. I'm gonna try my best to re-siege my stuff because I need this. I cannot be losing that core. That would be really bad if I did. I'm gonna max minting because I just want to lose as little money as possible, and that'll help. I also just need to keep deleting forts because they cost a lot of money. Keep these forts going. And we don't need them that much. I mean, they're kind of nice, but also we're gonna be fighting some secessions here, or like one secession that's gonna be big before the Timarids, so having no forts will make the secession a lot less of a problem. I'm going to start building spy networks in Tianwan and Song so that I can justify Horde expansion CBs on them, because I do want to fight them. And then we are losing some money, but I think we're losing money slow enough that we shouldn't run out of money. What was I thinking about doing? Oh yeah, I was going to raise my 53,000 levies. 53,000 more levies, because we've conquered more of China. And now we can use these levies to start carpet sieging, I think, is what I want to do with them. And also, we'll use them to help us out Tianwan when we can do that. Why is it not letting me select? Okay, that time it did. Now I've got this 48,000 troops. I'm going to tell it to carpet siege everything. And yeah, we'll see what that does. I think it's going to start carpet sieging everything, which will hopefully increase our pops a lot. Right now, we only have a mere 39 million. For comparison, Yuan still has 40 million. We're going to pass them very soon, I guess is what that means. We're owning a pretty significant portion of China. We do need to make sure that we actually have a connection to Chagatai before 1360, or else none of this stuff will actually go to Timarids, but I'm pretty confident that we can do that. I'm like basically 100% confident. The only thing we have to worry about is this Sanjiao Zealots revolt. This revolt is actually kind of significant. You can see, if I just pause the game, you can see that that does contain like all of Suzhou, although it's not like all of China, which is kind of surprising considering the religion map mode. I should really stop spending on diplomatic spending. We need way more money. We are really broke. I can probably somewhat fix being broke by turning back off all the buildings. Yeah, I need to turn off all the buildings again. It'll help out a little bit. It's not gonna help out I mean, it's gonna help out a ton, but they just keep coming back is the problem. You need to keep remembering to turn off all these buildings. It's a little bit unfortunate that you can't auto turn them off, but it's like super not worth because we can't get any control in these locations anyway. Temples, what I was trying to turn off. Our quantity of levies we can get from new territory is about to go way down because we're about to lose parliament approved levies, which is very sad. I think it's time to take out some loans to move my capital. Yeah, we need to move our capital at some point. Okay, I need to do the lumber thing. Almaty, you have like a ton of lumber surplus usually. Yep. Export lumber to Urgench. And now next month tick, we should have lumber in Urgench. And then we'll be able to move our capital. Okay, there's just enough demand, but I'm guessing that I can move my capital still? No. I can't afford the money. Okay, I need a little bit more loans. Okay, we only have 658 more ducats left to borrow, which isn't actually very many. So we're gonna have to make sure we're really on the ball with deleting all these buildings. Oh, we can we're really minting a lot right now. Yeah, that's really nice. I imagine there must be something causing me to have so much tax space right now. I don't know what's happening. Is some of these locations can have control, just barely have control. Uh, Yuan actually managed to annex a song? That's actually like incredibly surprising. Wow. I'm gonna stop investing in Horde Unity Positive. Just gonna keep it at like flat because I don't want to lose money. We're kind of close to running out of money. I mean, not really, but if we conquer too many Jixians and I forget to turn them off for too long, then we're at kind of a big risk. So I don't want that to be as much of a problem. Oh, you get calls for peace as a conquistador? That's not very nice. I guess I have to have one of my cabinet members dedicated to um, reducing war exhaustion. That'll help make that a little bit less of a problem. But what's actually interesting is that call for peace generates monthly diplomats. That might actually be useful for Timarids. Please don't kill my ruler, bruh. No. Wait, this is actually a really good character we got in our regency. It's I mean, it's not ideal, but it's also kind of fine. Yeah. We have 0 horde unity now, which is kind of bad. It's actually not that bad. Only -5 with state satisfaction equilibrium. Although we're going to be getting a disaster, I think, from that. Actually, I can't see the disaster here, but we have so many pop-ups, so I imagine the disaster is here somewhere. The nice thing about being at war is we don't get secession, or we don't get revolutions. We still get secessions, I think, but revolutions, like this chieftain's insurgents, do not fire, which is very good. I don't know about Tengris zealots. Actually, I'm not sure if that would fire. Might want to put a guy to try to stop that. Yeah, they were looking for independence, so actually I think they would. So maybe I should have this guy on trying to reduce that rebel thing, because that would be unfortunate if we got Tengris zealots to rise up, right? We don't want that to happen. The Sanjiao zealots are going to rise up soon, and that's not going to be too much of a problem, I think. We just need to make sure there's no forts that they occupy, and then we can just carpet siege their stuff back. By the time they rise up, we should have Yuan almost completely occupied, I think. I got an achievement for owning 35 locations to produce gold or silver. I got the Horde Civil War disaster. Luckily, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem because we only have like 3.5 years left at this point. And I don't think we can get a pretender rebel while we're in a war. We'll see, but I think we're fine. Wait, what? Something happened and now the Sanjo Zealots are not going up nearly as fast. Apparently their power of support... Why is there only 8,000 pops supporting the Sanjiao Zealots all of a sudden? I mean, this is amazing for me. Uh, what? Okay, well, we'll take it, I guess. Oh, are they all joining like a pretender rebel? That might be why. Rebels, fastest growing. Yep, rivaling warlord of China. This is what they all joined. But I don't think this can start a civil war while we're in a war. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't want to accidentally fully conquer China because if I do that, I will delete the mandate, I'm pretty sure. And I want to be able to take the mandate as Temur. So we're going to change all of our troops and put them on carpet siege for Manchuria and southwestern vassals, because that's what we can take without being at big risk of killing Yuan. Something like this is what I'll set as my carpet siege requirements, and I think that'll be better. If we can annex these countries over here, that'll like help reduce the amount of countries we're gonna have to conquer as Temur, right? Our estates have like refilled the amount of money we can borrow, so we're kind of just chilling and we're not gonna run out of money even if I keep running negative 30 balance, because we only have like a year and a half left. Well, it's about to become 1360, and we've barely dodged the revolts, and that's going to be Timur spawning. Okay, the game is lagging a lot because Timur is getting so many locations. The rise of Conquistador Timur. We will observe his career with great interest. The rise of Timur, the scourge from Central Asia, gives us plus 50% army levy size, auto conquer while at war, can always be a military leader. I don't know what that actually means. And aggressiveness modifier +1. What does this mean? Can always be a military leader? It doesn't actually say anything. I think aggressiveness modifier is just a thing for the AI. Conqueror gives -10 separatism. That's basically 10% satisfaction. Tactical genius gives us some military tactics. Cool. Unfortunate. And strategist, most insane modifier ever. 10 discipline, 25 siege ability, 33 assault ability. To conquer is to live. Oh, I shouldn't have unpaused. I was thinking it's gonna be paused. We start the game with 18,000 ducats. That seems pretty reasonable. We're gonna have a lot of money. Yeah, this seems pretty reasonable, I'd say. Yep, I'll embrace meritocracy since it's only 7 stability to do that. And I guess we can see what advances do we actually have. Like, do we have local infrastructure unlocked? Local infrastructure. Yes, it is still an option. So that is what I want to research first, I guess. And then probably want to go for like riches of Asia or something. Not sure. Yeah, that actually leads into +1 tolerance of heathens, which is something we want. Also +5 research speed here is very good. Wait, we start out Buddhist? What religion do we start out with? We start out with Sanjiao? Oh, that's actually gonna be nice. We can immediately start justifying a... Wait, what? We can't justify take mandate of heaven, CB? Huh. Turns out the reason we can't take the mandate is because we don't have a Chinese primary culture. I'm gonna start building a spy network on them, because we'll do it eventually. Now I'm gonna move my capital to Hangzhou, because that's gonna be a much better capital long term. Then I'm gonna automate taxes on commoners, chieftains, clergy, or no, not clergy. We'll keep clergy at 0. I'm gonna not do diplomatic spending. I'm gonna max stab spending. I'm gonna max cost of court. Now, I think I'm actually going to not be fighting wars immediately as Temur, which is maybe a bad idea, but the plan is we want to get rid of banal lordship as fast as possible, and this is going to drop us below -50 stab, meaning we can't declare wars. And then we'll probably declare, or we'll have to swap culture to declare the war against Yuan. So actually, it's going to be a lot of stab. We're probably going to be at peace for like 10 years or something. I don't know. We have a kind of insane rebel problem of the Tibetan Buddhist zealots, though. They're getting 800,000 pops in them, and it's probably going to go way up as I remove banal lordship pretty soon. Yeah, it's not ideal. Well, I guess I will arrange marriage for Temur. Yeah, we need to do that. Just do whatever we can to become an actually good country. Oh, I need to like shut down the Jixians and stuff because we're spending a bunch on building maintenance probably. Or no, we're actually not. Spending a bunch of stability investment cost? Huh. Yeah, expected army for a steppe horde is way above our army size. What if I raise levies? Does that make that modifier go down? Do levies count? Please count levies. Yes, you do. Very nice. Capital is moved to Hangzhou. We can see we're getting pretty good proximity in this area now. Okay, he gets updated to have Lang in his name and get some extra mill skill. I don't know why he's called a Conquistador, because we do not have the Conquistador reform right now. It is quite sad that I'm getting like minus 50 satisfaction from events on all my pops. I really don't know why. I don't think that I did any events that would give me that, so I'm quite confused as to why it's doing that. Minus 2.5 proximity cost is nice to get, but it's not going to be huge, because we haven't started stacking insane prox cost yet. Although we don't have terrible, you know, we have decent ruler, we have land value 100. Okay, our legacy, we're picking up this one for sure, because it gives auto-conquer when at war forever, whereas right now we're just getting it from our ruler. I don't know what can always be a military leader means, but you can see this option just gives you 0.1 legitimacy and minus 5 separatism as an alternative. So yeah, this one's much better. I'm gonna give the burghers a 10% tax efficiency perk, so that way we make a little bit more income. Temporarily, it's gonna hurt it because we're paying for legitimacy more, but it will also help us out with revoking the privilege. I think should reduce the power of the nobility slightly. Okay, I can now revoke banal lordship. Minus 100 stability is not ideal, but we gotta do it at some point because that minus 5 control is so bad. Going from 5 control to 10 control almost everywhere is gonna be very nice. I'm gonna stop paying for food, actually. It's kind of a scam. We can't afford that. Wait, why am I not minting? I'm throwing. We should be minting. Yeah, that's gonna make our balance a lot better. Get an event, they give us a war on Utsun. If we don't do it, we get minus 5 horde unity, so I guess I'll fight this war. I'm gonna call Parliament, and I'm going to ask for law changes. We could go for, like, favor the ruler, but actually there's gonna be something that's more important, which is going from steppe warbands, which gives 10% manpower, to federal tribe, which gives minus 10% proximity cost. That's gonna be pretty nice. We'll see on the month tick how that affects our proximity looking like. I think it's gonna be pretty big. Or not really that big, but like you can see, yeah, that's still out of proximity reach. Wow. But we'll see on the month tick how it looks after the changes. I imagine it's gonna look, no, it doesn't really look much different. Oh, the reason for that is that the effect is slowly going in. We've got Timur's first child. I will put them on expensive education because we do need to get up to at least 50-50 stats if we don't want to lose the rise of Timur, which we want to keep it for as long as possible. Now I've got like 11,000 ducats and a positive balance, so I guess I should build up some stuff that's really profitable, like RGOs over 10, and then all the buildings here that are super profitable. And we can just build up a ton of really profitable stuff, except that we can't actually build lacquerware artisans guilds because we don't have the tech for them. You just start with them and you're in the country for some reason. Maybe Yuan starts the tech with them. I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's going to be some good buildings to build. We don't want to build up too much, I guess. I should probably build more roads. I did build a road to like Wuxian, but should probably build more roads. Yeah, a road to like Jian, Wuyuan, Jingxian. I can now swap to Wu primate culture, and now we're pretty close to being able to do our first war against Yuan. We just need like a little bit more. We just need 50 more stab, which is gonna take a while, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Well, oh, we lost cores. I think we'll get the cores back when we reconquer from the rebellion. Surely we'll get the cores back. We're just going to carpet siege all with all, and it's just gonna be that simple. Yep, it's just that easy, and we'll win the war. Surely we'll just win the war, and we'll get our cores back. It is a civil war, so we should, right? Yeah, I think we're getting the cores back when we conquer it. We are indeed. It is kind of unfortunate that it's a civil war, though, because that does mean that I cannot get them to surrender. I mean, I can't just demand a peace deal. Yeah. Well, we're starting to go into debt, which is not ideal. I wonder if I could like sell a location to Korea or something. Like, would Korea buy this location from me? I mean, they give me like 690 bucks or whatever. That's not that bad. I mean, selling locations is kind of OP, but like, I kind of need some money. I really need some money, actually. Hmm. No, we're not gonna sell locations. It's too overpowered. I actually just have to like max commoner's tax if I want to survive at all. Okay, the revolt surrendered now, but we're in a little bit of debt, which is not ideal. I do just need to fix the economy again, removing, closing the Jixions and stuff. I'm gonna mint to avoid going in more debt. Debt is really bad, like minus crown power and stuff, so it'd be nice to avoid going into more debt. Once we get our legitimacy up to 100, we can stop minting or whatever to make money. Now we're at 100 legitimacy, I can crash minting so that we'll actually go down to 0 inflation. Or I guess I should do it so that we're not losing money, something like that. And now we can try to get like infinite levies, I think. Something, some ridiculous amount of levies. If I disband all levies, we can now raise 387,000 levies. That seems pretty reasonable. Yep. That seems reasonable. But I think we can go better than that. You know, I mean, I guess I can't disband all. Okay, that's actually all the levies, right? Yeah, now we can raise 392,000. But actually I feel like we should do a parliament and we should ask for larger levies. And then actually, you know what? I want to accept some more cultures because I've got 44 prestige. We'll get a lot of culture capacity once we take the mandate, which we're going to be doing pretty soon. Oh wait, what? Did I actually forget to build a spy network on Yuan? Okay, well this is going to take a little bit longer then. I guess I shouldn't accept too many cultures then. But I think on the next month, like, we should have like 500,000 levies or something ridiculous. Oh no, only 600,000. Okay. I guess I should start planning invasions. I'll do my first planned invasion against Delhi, and then probably like Golden Horde next or something. It is kind of surprising that we haven't gotten the event for claims on, what's it called? Claims on Persia. I'm gonna tell my army to go over to here. I've now got the first 40,000 troops over, so I can consolidate regiments, balance, split this in two, and deck Delhi. Conquistador Timur's conquest. I have no clue why he's called a conquistador, because yeah, the country does not have the conquistador form. So it's a little bit weird, but I mean, we'll take it. And yeah, we got way more troops coming over, just a solid 500,000. I wonder if there's like, oh, there's probably so much attrition from having all of this in one giant thing moving at once. Oh yeah, that we need to try to fix that. Oh, Jaunpur has popped out of Delhi, so we're not going to conquer quite as much from Delhi. I got my next planned invasion. I will do Golden Horde and Conquistador Timur's Conquest. Now we have so many troops, I can dedicate like 50k to fighting Golden Horde. Yeah, that seems reasonable. We took Delhi, that gives us some money, and it reduces non-existent war exhaustion and gives army tradition. Okay. I can now plan another invasion. I can't do it against Gurgen because I don't share a border. I did want to do it against Gurgen. You're a subject of Gurgen, right? Yeah, you are. So I'll do it against you. Yeah, that'll be good. Gurgen is a pretty good way to expand into Persia. We can get an event to get claims on all of Persia, but we haven't gotten that event. Oh, I don't actually have mill access. That's a bit of a problem, that I have no military access. Oh no, I do have military access through here. It's just mountains. Okay. Oh, we got an earthquake. Okay, unfortunate. You get +1 tolerance of heathen beliefs, which is actually very nice. I guess I could also try to give out like the estate privilege. Oh, but it will cost legitimacy, but it's fine. We'll just do that. We'll get +1 tolerance of heathen beliefs from that as well. Bring us up to only -1.5 tolerance, which is good. We want to get as much tolerance as possible. Ideally, a positive tolerance of heathens eventually, so that we can not have too many rebellions. Now I'm going to tell this army to carpet siege because that's going to be the fastest way, and it should keep one big army which we can use to try to siege the forts that Kurgan has. That'll be good. Oh, we get to declare a war on Chobanids? Okay, I'll take it. When is our next planned invasion? July? Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna peace out Delhi. Yeah, we're gonna take some stuff. I don't know. Okay, pretty nice. I don't know why it just shows achievements like every time you get them. Maybe it's like every time you get them since the last time you reloaded the save or something, but it's really strange. Once we get this tile here, I think it's time to peace out with Gurgen. Yeah, we'll just full annex them. I can't full annex them. That seems confusing. Or I think it's actually just because they have subjects that it's not showing me the ability to. Yes, I believe I've full annexed Gergen. So we can just take some random stuff as well. There we go. Very nice. We've got a rebellion. Okay. Well, I think this troop alone can probably just carpet siege this and end the rebellion. We do need to end the rebellion before Guangning or whatever takes our land. But yeah, this shouldn't be that hard. It is unfortunate that our troops got exiled, but that doesn't matter too much. I'm going to start creating my Claim Mandate of Heaven CB on Yuan, and then I'm also going to plan an invasion on you, because you're a subject of Georgia. So that will be nice, except apparently I have Tibetan Buddhist zealots at 95%. What? That's not true. You're just making things up to scam me out of my ability to declare war. What? Has progress, own rebels only. I'm so... Oh, I didn't scroll all the way up. Oh. Yeah, we can now peace out the Mongol rebellion. Now, yeah, it is unfortunate that we're gonna have to fight the zealots again. But I mean, I have like 1 billion troops, although like none of them are over there is the problem. Yeah, we're just going to tell everything to carpet siege it, and then it'll take a while for most of the troops to arrive back, I guess. But it'll be what it is. Yeah, we just gotta try and... I guess Chobanids are like in half, so we could just try to take the southern half and then piece them out, probably. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna piece out the Chobanids like this, so we can deal with our revolt. It's gonna fire next month. It's very unfortunate that we keep getting revolts. I think maybe this one will be the final one. It's got a okay chance at being the final one, I think, because it's... I mean, we're slowly going to get our tolerance of heathens up. Like, once we start conquering the Orthodox Patriarchates, especially, that can give us quite a good amount. Um, yeah, so we're going to set everything, carpet siege, everything. And I think that will work kind of well. Well, our first heir has just barely passed the 150 stats threshold. The stats of 161. So that's good. I need to stop investing in stab. It's too expensive. I need to actually have a money. Yeah, we need to have money. And then, I think I need to get a CB on Guangning, because somehow they're attacking my civil war, and I think that's going to give them the land or something, which is very annoying. So I have to deck them. I don't think you're supposed to be able to declare war on civil wars, so I think they're cheating, basically. I don't know how the AI is cheating, but they are. Well, they surrendered in the Civil War, and it did do that, where they stole our land. Um, I think that it should stay integrated, but it's not going to be cored, I think, when I retake it, which is kind of unfortunate. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. Apparently we are getting cores back on this stuff. That's really weird that we lost the cores then. Huh. Well, we can just re-annex, or we can just annex Guangning now. That's good. Get all of our territory back. Very good. I'm gonna disband levies so that we can re-raise them and get more levies. I need to, like, halt all my levies, I guess. Because, yeah, they're moving. I can just spam disband, I guess, and it should hopefully fix the ones that are moving. Hopefully. Now we can raise 630,000 levies, and then we can call Parliament, and a real amount of levies we can raise is going to be 838,000 or 840,000. Nice. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. Now I guess I declare war on Yuan for claim Mandate of Heaven. We need to make sure we don't take the capital, or else the war goal will get bricked, which would be very unfortunate. I think it's time to flip Sunni to get rid of rebels like this. Sunni. Yeah, flip Sunni. Which is going to be very, very nice. We do have the Emir's Legacy, right? Yes, we do. Okay, good. We need to be non-Sunni to get that. Yeah, now that we're Sunni, that's going to be good. We'll get a new estate very soon, the Dhimmi, which is going to be... The vast majority of our country is going to be in the Dhimmi. But we're going to better give it some good privileges to get our tolerance of heathens up to like 0.5, which is much better than -1.5. So that's going to be very, very nice. Yep, here's our Dhimmi. We're going to give Abrahamic communities. It is kind of bad for like the minus 100% local conversion speed isn't ideal, but getting 5 toler tolerance, 1 tolerance and 5 acceptance is good. Plus 10% demi levy size will be good. Um, that's gonna be good. We just want to get them as much satisfaction as possible, really. We don't really want to hurt clergy satisfaction if possible, though, and we don't want to give them too much power because they are a pretty big estate. You know, they've got a lot of power, but we want to give them as much satisfaction as we can. I think this might be good. I'll leave it at that. Auto tax the Demi. And yeah, other estates are going to have no money now, so pretty much just might as well not tax the commoners because it's going to be so little money that they have, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to declare on the coalition. So, plan invasion, Transoxiana, Conquistador, Timarids, conquest. I need to make sure I have troops coming over here. Oh, yeah, we have some troops here. I'll bring some of these guys more down south. We probably want even more troops going over here. I'll send over at least like these armies. We want a lot of troops over here. But there's 400,000 troops sitting here. Um, okay, well this is a little bit strange. That's so many troops. I need to split this up into like 16 different armies. Okay, I've split this up into like a bajillion armies. I think I'm gonna send like most of these over here, except I need to like send them on different routes or something. I'll try to stop like one at a time. I don't know what to do, because they're gonna eat so much food. But yeah, I guess I'll just keep stopping like one per tile to try to fix some things. I mean, I want to keep some of these guys around here, but I don't know why so many troops decided to go here. It's quite strange. Okay, now some of them have just split up. What are you doing? I don't know. This is quite weird. Y'all should be heading over here. Yeah, and then y'all should also be going there, right? And then the guys that I stopped, we can use them for, I don't know, like invading Korea and over here in Manchuria. Yeah, we're at war with like all of Manchuria right now, so we can use these guys to help fight over there. Focus siege in Manchuria. That seems pretty good. I've almost occupied like all of Manchuria at this point, which is quite nice, and I'm working over here too, of course. Having so many troops is, yeah, just super nice. The game's trying to trick me into declaring war on Kiva. Don't do that. That would be losing the game if I did that. Because, Chagatai is a scam. If I end up fighting Chagatai without it being like the final war of the campaign, then I'm basically forced to un-Iron Man the run because you just stay in a perma war and it gives you infinite war exhaustion. Since our burgers have such tiny amount of power now, I guess I can kind of just give them privileges and it won't really matter that much. Like the monthly inflation debuff, monthly development growth. I mean, I guess it's gonna hurt satisfaction of the Demi, but I think it's very worth it. Minting threshold. This gives plus max tax. That's kind of nice, but not for us right now. Petty bureaucracy would also be really good if we could get it. I need to have the examination system law and be the leader of the Middle Kingdom, and then I can do that. Yeah, that's actually gonna be pretty good because we don't really care about burgers that much. Only thing with that is that does put us in even more debt, and we are paying a little bit of interest because we've got so much debt. I am just gonna try to mint through the debt, or mint to try to minimize the amount of debt we get. I think inflation is gonna be less of a problem than debt. I have chieftains insurgents at 100% stopping me from declaring wars. Is it worth going into debt to bribe them? It's like so cheap to bribe them, but I don't think I can afford it. Yeah, I just can't. I don't think I can afford it. Well, it's time to peace out Yuan. I'm gonna take a little bit from Tibet, a little bit from Korea, so I can actually take Kaesong easily in future wars, because we're taking all the forts up to Kaesong. And we're also taking the Mandate of Heaven, which is, of course, the most important part. Yeah, you can see we're now losing 734 ducats, but we can just stop paying for the tribute system for now, and that'll stop being a problem. And now we can start accepting all of the Chinese cultures, which will be pretty nice. Accept, accept, accept. on all of the Chinese cultures. Oh, I'm not researching anything. Planned sieges, that'll be good. Minus expected cost of court. No, actually, we shouldn't do minus expected cost of court. I should look for like pop satisfaction equilibrium or estate satisfaction equilibrium and stuff, maybe. I don't know exactly what's going to be best to research. I mean, meritocracy tree has some good stuff to go for. Age of Renaissance is where most of the good stuff is going to be. Okay, yeah, here it is. This 5 monthly research speed, this 2.5 estate satisfaction equilibrium, zero point 0.1 monthly horde unity, um, one estate satisfaction equilibrium, I guess. Um, hmm. It's really tough to decide what techs are worth going for. Full annex on Injuids. Borders in Persia are slowly expanding. It's kind of weird that we didn't get CBs on all of Persia. Usually, Timur gets an event that gives them CBs on it, but we just haven't gotten that event yet, which is a little bit weird because we've been Timur for like 25 years. Maybe it requires being at peace or something. I can deal with this rebellion now. That's good. Rebellion will finally be over. Or that rebellion will be over. Obviously, we'll get a trillion more rebellions eventually. Now my stability is high enough to maximum tax the demi while still having them over 50. So I will stop using stability, or I'll stop going for stability, and I will stop minting as well. And now we're going to start losing money again, but we're going to lose our 10% inflation, and then once we get rid of that, we can mint a little bit and start clearing out the debt, hopefully. Get another, or is this our first autocephalous patriarchate? I think it is. Well, we'll keep it because we want to get that tolerance of heathens. Tolerance of heathens is always a super nice modifier to get. Okay, I'm gonna peace out with Georgia. I'm taking all their forts, but they're left with a couple of provinces that are not forts. I think I should take out some loans to bribe the nobility. It's gonna make me have to pay more interest, but it is sort of just is what I have to do, I think. I bribe the nobility. I mean, like, what does 40% estate satisfaction do? I would think that would maybe deal a little bit of damage to the revolt. No, not really. So we're gonna need at least to get to 50, which means another loan. Okay, we'll see if 50% is enough to get the nobility rebels to calm down. Oh, now it's at only 10,000 pops. Um, maybe we need another one? It looks like there are still some pops that are pretty mad. Well, I managed to get it down to not progressing up. There's still, like, I guess, 29 locations that are supporting it, but if I just put this guy on Rebel Crackdown for a moment, I can get it on, hopefully under 95%. It's gonna take like a year almost, but it is what it is. I'm gonna peace out the coalition now, I guess. I can't ask for money, right? This is peace deal I'm doing, just taking a bunch of random locations. Very nice. We get the Temur Huangdi's Conquest CB on everything with its capital in Anatolia. Okay. Well, I'll probably fight Jalaiarids next then. Yeah, that's gonna make us fight the coalition though, which is a thing we gotta deal with. Might want to actually re-raise levies. I don't know how many levies we would get out of that. Okay, I'm gonna deck Jalaiarids for Temur Huangdi's Conquest. Um, I thought that was gonna drag into coalition, but I guess Jalaiarids wasn't actually in the coalition, even though they had a ton of AE. Okay, well, I guess we will just fight the Jalaiarids then. Well, I do want to fight the coalition, so, yeah, I do want to fight the coalition, so I will plan an invasion on Iraq El Arabi and deck them for Temur Huangdi's conquest. And then I'll probably have like you go for there. And then all of our Indian troops can help fight Delhi. Is quite the coalition, including all the way the Mamluks. Or no, the Mamluks aren't actually in the coalition. They just joined the war because they felt like it, I guess. I just took over the final Jalaiarids location, and now all of the Jalaiarids vassals are mine. Which I mean is kind of interesting. It means that if I were to go to 1.8, I would get like infinite or 1.0.8, I would get infinite decentralization progress now. So I should probably just peace out of this war. I mean, I guess I can annex the territories that the game is gonna let me annex, but then I'll just peace out. That's one less war to deal with. And now we got a bunch of vassals here. Kind of, I don't know how useful having all these vassals is gonna be. We can always just release them as independent. Or well, not always, but as long as we're at peace, we can. So all these subjects are loyal, but they're not in my current wars. I should probably declare a new war for them to be able to go into. I'll declare on like Trebizond for Temur Huangdi's conquest, and hopefully Aretnids or something will go for them. We get this event where we can demand stuff from Ottomans, where they give us like 300% of their yearly income and become a tributary. Yeah, if they accept that, I'll do that. Otherwise, it'll force war with them. The Ottomans chose war. Okay. Good luck, Ottomans. Wow, the Ottomans actually got Constantinople without the like Theodosian walls going down. That's kind of insane. I need to get more levies. It's time to disband. Yeah, now we can like re-raise levies for a real amount of levies. I just need to disband all my levies and then re-raise them, and then we'll have a real amount of levies. They're locked into movement, so they can't be disbanded. Okay, well I just need to look for all my armies. Okay, I can't. What I need to do is call Parliament and get ask for larger levies. And then next month tick, we should be able to raise like 800,000 levies. If I use 800,000 levies well, I can win these wars. It is going to be kind of tough to use 800,000 levies well, but we will try our best. Alright, I can raise 784,000 levies, or actually apparently 700,120. Yeah, that should be a good amount to actually deal with the wars. I just set everything to focus siege, and we'll see what that does. I'm hoping that that will help unsiege my country and siege their countries. I'm gonna offer the Mamluks release Artaz to go away, because, yeah, fighting the Mamluks is quite annoying. They are very strong. Yeah, I just fully sieged the war leader, and so now my country just got unsieged, except for territories that were not sieged by the war leader, but almost everything got transferred to the war leader. So now we're not really sieged, which is very nice. Yeah, because we were getting really sieged down, but now we're back to being in a little bit of a better position. Apparently Chagatai has disappeared. This is amazing news that Chagatai has disappeared, because this means we no longer have any risk of accidentally getting into a war with them. That's such good news. I'm gonna deck a war on these guys, because we're gonna... Or I thought this was gonna get into a coalition war, but no, apparently these guys aren't actually in the coalition, but I want to fight them anyway. I'm pretty sure I have cores on their territory. Yeah, I do. I don't actually know really why I have cores on their territory. I just know that I do. I think it might have to do with them like starting out as a vassal of Chagatai or something. I'm gonna peace out Jaunpur for deleting all of their forts and giving me a couple of more provinces. I don't like fighting Jaunpur. Jaunpur is too strong. They have like a pretty big army. A really big army, really, I should say. Yeah. I'm gonna steal maps from Yuan of Zoe Hills, because I thought Delhi might be there. No, they're not there. They have 4 locations and I can only see 3 of them. I don't know where their final location is. There's Delhi's final location, I think. Yep, there it is. We conquer that. We will full annex. We will get all of Delhi's subjects, which is kind of interesting. There's Delhi annexed. It looks like we don't get maps on our subjects, which is a little bit strange. We have Bahmanis as a subject as well. Wow. I guess Delhi still held quite a lot. How's our loyalty going to be looking? I know they were disloyal, but I assume that with us controlling them, they'll be loyal. Sure, Bengal flips loyal. Looks like some of these other ones are just barely not loyal, and Bahmanis is actually still very disloyal. No, on the month tick, they have become loyal, but Jaunpur and stuff are still barely not loyal. I should probably start trying to head towards centralization value, so I will revoke communal lands, and I will put you on centralization societal value, and then I'll try to get as much centralization progress as I can, really. I mean, oh yeah, petty bureaucracy, that'll be good for 20 centralization progress, and 20 efficiency of cabinet. Um, Royal decree, I guess we could put in as a government reform, but we don't really have stability to do that right now. I could do monetary fiefs. I don't want to do that though. Yeah, I don't think that's worth it. Establish great works of faith, I think, is worth it. Yeah, I will do that. Or embellish great works of faith, I mean. Gets us up to like 40% progress to centralization. I need to deck the coalition before it gets too big again, so I'm gonna deck Sama, and that should be pretty nice. It's gonna drag us into a war with a bunch of countries, but none of them are too much of a problem, I think. We've got a 76,000 stack here. I should definitely try and split that, I think. Why is it trying to go there? I do not know. But I think this is finally the war where we try to annex Yuan. Due to quite how many things were spamming my notifications up here, I didn't realize that I had laws not codified. There's so many laws I need to put in here. A lot of them are really good. It is kind of tough to tell which one's going to be best here. I think I'll take the centralization progress. -5 estate satisfaction equilibrium is kind of bad. I didn't mean to sort. Okay. Yeah, we got a ton of laws to pick up. I don't want to pick up either in legal code. Neither of those look good. Here, I guess I'll take trade range. Here, I'll take regulated export. Here, centralization is good, but cabinet seat is also good. I think I'll take centralization for now. Um, that's not one we want to do. I'm gonna go through. I think we're almost done with all the laws, actually. Oh yeah, we are. We're done. Good. I'm gonna piece out the Ottomans, asking them to dismantle their fort in Constantinople. Apparently that does delete the Theodosian walls as well as the normal castle, so that'll make taking Constantinople in the next war with the Ottomans pretty easy. That was really weird. I tried to piece out Yuan for the territory down here, and for some reason I got their territory up here. Or maybe I just conquered it already and I got nothing from them. But I think that's fine. It doesn't matter too much. We're sort of just chilling. I do need to test if forming Mongolia will work, because I was kind of planning on forming Russia, but I'm realizing that I think forming Mongolia might work, because, I mean, it disables the Timur situation, but it doesn't say that it will clear our effects unless there's something that will secretly do that. So I might need to test that, because that does seem like a potential way to do things. Well, my heir died. Luckily, my second heir was also over 150 points, so that's not too much of a problem. I tested it, and forming Mongolia does remove the buff, so we are going to have to use a different formable, like probably Russia, that I'm shipping into Japan. They just had their Sengoku Jidai thing trigger, so now it's like 140 different microstates. Oh, is this like a professional army or something? How am I like not just insta winning against this army? I think my fleet just got killed by the Japanese fleet. But I should win against this army, even though it is a little bit tough. I have like a -2 from naval landing, I think. Yeah, -3 in total. -1 from naval, 1 from vegetation, and 1 from topography. But we do win the battle. I'm only at war with like a third of Japan? Oh, that makes things a little bit strange. Okay. Huh. Oh, I really need to call Parliament. My estates are very mad that I have not called Parliament in a while. Okay. I guess I will back the war effort. Doesn't really matter too much. What policy do you want changed? Limited censorship? No, we don't want to do that. Do I want to do more parliament approved levies? Probably should. I just realized that my ruler actually died. That would explain why my tribal unity was like 50. I was actually wondering why, but I just didn't realize my ruler was dead. Okay, well that's good that we can still raise 300,000 levies even without the plus 50% levies modifier. Yeah, that's good to know. But, oh, is this guy barely not good enough stats? That means we need to start getting ready to do the strat. I think there are enough Muscovite pops in the world. Yeah, there's 1.26 million, so we can easily conquer all Muscovite pops, accept Muscovite culture, swap primate culture, become Russia. We will probably need to use our select core region on Russia, though. Well, that's unfortunate. Korea rebelled, and I forgot to delete my forts there. I should really go delete forts everywhere again. It's very important to delete forts. Because, I mean, we're spending so much money on them, and yeah, rebellions are so annoying if they have forts. I'm gonna piece out of this war with the Mamluks by piecing Ayutthaya because they're the war leader. I'm gonna take the Egyptian coast. Alexandria is actually gonna be pretty nice for institutions. We have 3.3% of our pops with banking now. Still nowhere near enough, but I mean, we're just kind of getting there. I should maybe start trying to conquer into Europe just for getting institutions. Oh, I'm not researching anything right now. I need to research new things. I still have lots of good things to research. -10% no CB cost like is actually going to be pretty nice for us. Do I need prestige? Kind of. It's probably worth the tech. I should definitely go for this. It does require 2 techs, but 20% movement speed without road and -20 unit food consumption is kind of crazy. And then I guess I go for the trade efficiency and probably more stuff in Age of Traditions, Meritocracy tree to go for. Yeah, there's some good stuff here, I think. Not that much good stuff. Hmm. I guess we take 10 levy combat efficiency. It's not huge. Yeah, plan invasion on Yaroslavl because that way we can get into a pretty big war with Russia and get our million Muscovite pops. We need to flip Muscovite. Is the annexation of Muscovy. We're getting kind of close to having enough Muscovite pops. Not really, but we're like kind of close. I also got a CB on Ryazan. Yeah, we're at 730,000 now. Go for the capital of Yaroslavl and go for the capital of Ryazan. Okay, I got to a million Muscovite pops. So now I can accept Muscovite culture, and I'm able to swap primate culture. We don't need to do that yet, though. We'll just keep it as accepted for now. Oh, we just got a hunting accident. Okay, unfortunate. We should really start trying to get what's it called? Start trying to form Russia so that we can not have to worry about stuff like that. We're going to move our capital as the only problem, really. To move our capital somewhere into Russia. I mean, nice, we get the one that gives us minus 20% unit food consumption. That's actually going to be pretty big. I'm going to peace out with Chernihiv for this. Get full annexation on Chernihiv and some nice expansion into Novgorod. Now, obviously, we don't own the entire Russia region, but I think I still want to use my core region on it. The only other real option is Pontic Steppe or integrating manually, but I imagine that integrating manually is going to take far too long. Integrate province. We would want to find something that has like the fewest number of locations and we've owned for the longest. So maybe like Tama. How long does it take to integrate a location here? Only 8 years? Oh, maybe this is actually a real option then. I'm gonna set my core region to Hindustan, and surely it will work this time. Sure, it's not gonna work this time because it didn't work last time. Yeah, it doesn't work. Select core region doesn't work if your ruler is not the Scourge of Central Asia, because that's when it would make additional conquered locations to your core. Apparently, if you don't have that at all, then you just don't get the core region. So I guess I should have used it earlier in the run. Bit of a miss, but it's not a huge deal. I'm going to start integrating a little bit of a better province into it. I think Tula is good. And then I'm going to flip Muscovite. This is going to it's going to put me slightly over the culture capacity limit, so I'm going to have to unaccept some cultures. Um, Kharezmian, Zhongyuan. That puts me right at the culture capacity limit. All right. Oh wait, this isn't Muscovite. Okay, I need to. This is the look. This is what I should be doing it on. Yeah. Integrate Kaluga, and this time, yeah, it'll be integrating at 1.3 a month, meaning it should finish a lot faster. It says 1557, but I think that's what it was without using the integration thing at all. So it should be a lot faster now. Showing, let's see. No, it's still showing 1557, but it should be like 1417 or so. Oh, that's interesting. If we get revolts, then it becomes cord. Okay. I did not know that. So is it like inverted? I think it might be inverted, where we only get cores on stuff we conquer instead of the stuff we own. Okay, that's a little bit weird. Thanks to Tarkus for giving me the idea of going in this menu. He was saying you could like right click to delete the forts from here. I don't know if I can find a fort to show this. If you like right click from here, that will destroy the castle building. But what I found from being in this menu is you can just do this, and it's super convenient for deleting forts. Yeah, that makes things so much easier. I think I've done some sort of magic. This province is getting integrate province despite me not having a cabinet member integrating that province right now. Hypothetically, what would happen if I were to move this cabinet member again? And then move him again? And then keep repeating that? This doesn't quite seem like how this is supposed to work. Um, that doesn't seem particularly balanced. The way this actually works, this is insane. What? I don't think this is supposed to be happening. So let's see. 1.05. Does it actually go up by that? Yeah, it does. So like this actually works. Um, so that's interesting. Reloading the save does fix it. So that's interesting. If I try it again though, does it go back? This is This is something we should check. Okay, it appears that you can just do it again. So I'm not going to abuse this, partially because it would be insanely tedious to apply this to every single province, and also partially because it's kind of really exploity. When I saw this event, I was really scared for a second that it was going to remove my modifier or something, but it's actually fine. It's so fine. We don't get removed. I'm gonna plan an invasion on Mengalai. I do that, that'll be a nice little, not little, big war probably. Yeah, we end up at war with the Mamluks, Ottomans, Byzantium, Bulgaria, Khmer, Tibet. Quite a bit. But I think we can beat it all. We got our air being a prodigy, so we're gonna get like another almost 100, 100, 100, which is going to be very nice. Although, we're gonna have to form Muscovy anyway there, and actually we might end up in a regency for a little bit because yeah, we don't have he's not old enough yet, obviously, and the ruler is getting kind of old. I have imprisoned the ruler of the Ottomans. Okay. This gives them 5 war exhaustion, minus 20 prestige, minus 50 legitimacy, minus 50 stab, and minus 100 opinion with us. But we get 20 we get 20 prestige. Can I become an empire? I'm too poor to become an empire. That's an interesting reason why I can't become an empire. Don't have enough money. I've got my locations cored, so I can move my capital. I just need to take out a loan, or a couple loans, move capital to Oblensk. We get another autocephalous patriarchate seat falls. I don't know if this effect will stack. I think if it might, we might need to take the main patriarchate seat from Constantinople to get it to 2. I'm not exactly sure, but we can check. Only at 2.5. Okay, yeah, we stay at 2.5. I think we have to take the one from from Byzantium to get the ×2 bonus. I guess that means I should invade Serbia so I can get over there. Yeah, let's do a war with Serbia, and then we can take the Byzantine capital. Oh, now it says it's going to be scaled by 2, but I didn't take the main one. Interesting. But I mean, I'll take it. Nice, up to 3.5 tolerance of heathens. Unfortunate thing about forming Russia is that you don't get many unique advances from them. But, yeah, we're gonna form Russia. Or we could get one final planned invasion before we form Russia. Um, who should I get it on? I guess Champa. Yeah. Now we'll have to do more stuff to... We could just wait it out, but I'm kind of scared of this really dying. I don't want to have to Alta 4 all ruler deaths. So let's just form Russia. And yeah, this is going to be very nice. And the Great Russian Horde. We lose the Rise of Timur situation. And we are now permanently going to have the Emir's destiny. Auto-conquer when at war. Forever. Let's go. So yeah, I definitely need to move my capital back. Unfortunately, that's going to cost a lot of debt. But we just kind of have to accept that we're going to be in a bit of debt because of this capital moving stuff. Yeah, we got to move the capital back. It's going to be pretty unfortunate that we had to spend so much money on that, and now we're in like, yeah, 133 ducats of loan interest that we have to pay, and 25,000 debt. It's not ideal, but I mean, actually, this balance is really bad. Hmm. I think I just need to max tax the Dhimmi, regardless of the estate satisfaction problems we'll get from that, because the Dhimmi are kind of already able to rebel anyway, right? It's fine for them to get a little bit more mad. Europe now wants 1 billion porcelain because my capital's in Europe, and so it says European traders are now in China. Oh, we entered a regency. How old is our heir? Can we even see our heir anymore? Um, hard to tell what our heir is. We can pick up a reform now. Maybe the 20% food production makes sense. Or I guess we should do 3 departments, right? Because it's free government reform. So obviously we want to try to go for Zhongdu because this gives like minus 20% proximity cost if you get enough silver produced in our country. But this is going to require a lot of mandate growth. You can see we're currently not gaining enough mandate to where even if we were spending max on mandate, we're still just even because we're getting a decay from active decrees, and to get rid of that, we have to spend 10 authority. So I think what I'm going to do is start trying to create a billion tributaries and improve relations with them. This is going to be a little bit unfortunate. Oh wait, what are we getting call for peace from? Actually, that's kind of good because we can use that for diplomats. As long as we peace out from the war eventually, you can have a bunch of countries we're improving relations with at once. But the plan is to just create a ton of custom subjects of tributaries. Oh, wait, I can't create them when I'm in a war. Okay, so I have to end off these wars and then we can do that. That actually will be, but we're not going to get the call for peace because we're gonna have to peace out of the war, unfortunately. Okay, I'm gonna peace out the war with Serbia for that. Now Serbia is just like Montenegro, and Halic is a lot smaller. I imagine I'm starting to get some antagonism with Europe. Yeah, we are. But no one huge in Europe can join a coalition against us yet. So we should be fine. Now I'm going to start releasing a ton of tributaries. I'm going to try to make sure I do this only in the places in my country that are Sunni, because the tributaries, to get a mandate from them, we need them to be friendly with us, which actually means that you get it relative to your relations. And so having tributaries that are Sunni will mean it's slightly easier to get relations. Doing Muscovite would also work. Ideally, we would have something that's both, but I don't think we have any locations that would pop out as both Muscovite and tributaries, or and Sunnis. So I'm just gonna pop out a billion tributaries everywhere that's Sunni. I've released like 16 for now. I'm going to start trying to improve relations with them, but I should actually just remove my building spy network. And I should look at who I'm improving relations with. If it's not tributaries, then it's probably not worth doing. Okay, I am improving relations with tributaries, so that's good. I'm just gonna spend some more of my diplomats doing this. Then I'm gonna wait for diplomats to hit the cap before I use more, I think, because that's gonna be the optimal way to use it, because you can run negative diplomats. I'm kind of getting bad inflation because I'm trying to not run out of money while doing this, so I will do balance the budget parliament. I think it might be worth doing this to get the extra -2.5 inflation. Kind of a little bit of a tough choice. I think I'll take -5 centralization progress to pass balance the budget. Now that I've hit 100 legitimacy, I can finally stop minting, which is going to be super nice. Finally get rid of that 10 inflation. And I think I will also stop spending on stability, so I can start trying to get rid of this debt. Then once I get rid of the debt, I will start working on doing diplomatic spending, or maybe I should do a little bit of diplomatic spending. I'm gonna save up some money, then do some diplomatic spending to be able to improve relations with more countries, because we do want to get our celestial authority going up. I'm going to embrace professional armies. I could have done it a little bit ago, but I was kind of worried about the stab. I think it's fine to be like -20 stab. I mean, I like the Demi a little bit mad, but the Demi are always a little bit mad. It's fine. Well, that's very nice. Temur has finally hit the age to rule our country, so we're no longer getting the minus Horde unity from Regency. We are still getting some from Fresh Ruler, but this guy has really good stats. 100 on Diplo, 92 admin, 87 military. We have a send gift thing. I was not realizing this was an option, but we can choose between either getting 10% improved relations and 1 Diplo rep, or -2 expected cost of court, -10% urban buildings cost, and monthly control. Minus expected cost of court is kind of nice. Maybe give us like 25 extra ducats and a little bit more when we're paying for cost of court, obviously, which we're currently, or we don't know when we're paying for like increasing our legitimacy instead of just keeping it 100. But I wonder how much send gift costs. I mean, I think the top one's better, but I need to consider this send gift thing. I don't know where I even find that. Oh, here it is, send gift. Improve relations by up to 20. You know, a maximum of 40 increased opinion from sending gifts. That doesn't seem that useful then. So yeah, I'll just pick up this top one. Get that minus expected cost of court, which is going to be pretty nice. I'm able to get 100 support on this parliament easily, so I'm going to change a law. I'm going to change from favor of the elites to governing senate. This gives crown power, a cabinet seat, and some progress towards centralization. I got a new cabinet member. I'm going to have them help me push capital economy. I'll have to go most profitable first. But we should be able to push a good amount of capital economy. Yeah, we want to do like the burgers privileges that help out with this, but we can probably do it. That privilege, That privilege. Okay, I think that's all the burger privileges we need. I guess next parliament we can maybe change out nobility controlled mining operations for burger controlled mining operations. That'll give us another like point 0.1. We're finally out of debt. This is great. Now I can pay for the tribute system almost. I mean, it's a slight deficit, but it's not that bad. We just need to get our tributaries a little bit happier with us. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get the number from friendly tributaries positive. If we could just get that and pay for authority and then pass the reform, that would be so nice. I reread the code and I realized why I'm not getting much mandate growth. It's because it's multiplied by great power score, and all these countries have very low great power scores. And it also doesn't just include tributaries. The text says tributaries, so I really just thought it was going to be tributaries, but it's actually all members of the Middle Kingdom. So we're going to have to try to improve relations with members of the Middle Kingdom, and I'm going to cancel improving relations with all these guys because we need the diplomats. Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. I should have realized this a little bit sooner. Now we can start getting real growth to our celestial authority going. We start improving with like Jampur and stuff. I mean, these guys will still help out a little bit, but they're going to be nothing compared to what countries like Jampur, Eretnids, Bengal, Bahmanis can give us. I've done some testing and I'm pretty confident that releasing a bunch of vassals will actually improve my celestial authority gain a bunch, because the thing with vassals is that they actually have good opinions with you, unlike tributaries. You can see here 102 opinion just out the gate instead of having to improve relations. They just sort of spawn with high relations, and we'll also be able to annex them easier, so it is just pretty nice. So I'm going to spawn as many vassals as I can, reasonably spawn, and then I'll also be spending my diplomats on improving relations with all of the big countries, because that's also going to be an important way to do things. Releasing all these vassals has improved my thing to 0.02, and now I've got 6 diplomats, so I can start improving relations with Jampur, Bengal. Is it even worth trying to improve with Champa? How negative are they? They're like super negative from antagonism, but I might actually be able to clear out the antagonism. They're only 144 antagonism, so I think I can clear that out potentially. Bahmanis. Um, who else is big that we could improve relations with? Oh, now we're at 0.04. That's very good. I want to get to at least 0.05 before I start investing in Celestial Authority, I think. But it should be worth it at like 0.05. Yeah, I should definitely. We're not there yet, obviously, but soon enough we'll get there. Now that we're getting 0.05, I think I want to start spending on tribute system. Obviously, this is going to make my balance negative, but it's not that bad. And now we'll start slowly gaining Celestial Authority. Oh, the Age of Discovery has begun. We are the diplomatic, cultural, and economic hegemon. Being the diplomatic hegemon actually is really good. Oh, that's amazing. Um, yeah, I should probably take this guy off of stabilizing the country temporarily and have him on, where is the thing? We should have, yep, diplomatic corps, giving us zero 0.5 monthly diplomats. Now, I'm not actually sure exactly which focus we want to go here. I should look through them. I think it's Diplo focus. We get like plus 50% trade range, we get the exploration CB, and we get monthly diplomats. The rest doesn't really have anything too useful for us. Oh yeah, another thing we can do now that we're in the age of Renaissance is pick up our third government reform, which I'm going to be going with Subednik, Sudebnik, giving us minus 10% proximity cost through land. This is what it looks like before that. We'll see what it looks like afterwards once the policy is fully in effect. This is going to be pretty big. We're starting to stack significant minus proximity costs. You can see we have like almost minus 75% leaving Huangzhou. Well, that's not very good. We lose 50 stability. The crumbling authority of the Great Northern Yuan. I promise that I'm not the Great Northern Yuan. What? Okay, actually this might be a good thing, because this gives us a bunch of buttons that give us celestial authority. Okay. I guess this is a good thing. I'm gonna stop spending on diplomatic spending, because we cannot afford it. And, yeah, I need to start pressing the buttons here. Strengthen the throne. Press this. We'll see what this does. This gives us 5 celestial authority and 7 stability. Good. Now, to do these ones, we need 50 stab. Okay, that's going to take a while. A long while. This one, we need to do the cabinet action. And this one, we need, uh, okay, at least one of these. Okay, so we just need to make all of our estates 60% satisfaction. We can do that because they're pretty low tax percentage of tax base, so I can just kind of bribe them to do that, I think. Yeah. Okay, I bribed all the estates up to 60% satisfaction. Now I can click this. No, negotiate with the rebels by sacrificing 3 celestial authority. We can demand, we can give them some stuff to not rebel. I don't think we want to do that. Oh, this has some really bad debuffs. But we will just need to do the cabinet action, I guess. I guess I'll have to replace changing societal values for that cabinet action. Reform taxation system. Yeah, this is going to take a while. Oh, I should pick someone who has high admin skill, ideally. Do I have a character that has high admin skill? I do, so I should probably swap them. Okay, I swapped it around. Now I'm getting 0.12 monthly celestial authority growth from that, which is actually really good. So what I'll do, I want to reshape our bureaucracy. Oh, that requires 50 stab? Oh, okay. I guess that's not a real option then. So apparently this is actually zero point zero 0.01, because if you look here, you can see that's what we're actually getting from it, which is a little bit unfortunate. This keeps on giving me events that give me celestial authority. I'm kind of loving this disaster. I mean, like, it's annoying that we're getting so many secessions, but, like, do I really care that much? No? Am I at war with, no, this is another secession. I was thinking that might be the coalition, but no, we're fine. Another 3 celestial authority. You know what that means? Oh, what? No? We're just barely not at 20. Once we get to 20, that means we can go, grab Zhongdu, which gives minus 18 proximity cost up to minus 20. Here's another 3 celestial authority, putting me above 20. Oh, what am I missing? I don't have enough money. We should take out a loan for this. This is definitely loan worthy. And then we go ahead and do Zhongdu. And we lose some Horde unity from this actually, which is really bad. But we get minus 17 proximity cost. It's going to take a second to apply, but I assume this will make our proximity maybe go all the way to Beijing. It's going to get close. Well, I guess I can just stop spending on tribute system now. It's not worth it, I think. We just need to make some money and not go into infinite debt. Nice, we get an event that gives us plus 20 stab. That's going to help us out a lot with getting to 50 stab, which we do need. I was looking at proximity because we're getting almost to the end of the Zongdu's implementation now. Our proximity is looking pretty solid. Oh, I just got another separatist. We're getting so many separatists. It is unfortunate. We'll have to finish this disaster, but yeah, that's going to require us to get to 50 stab, which is going to take a minute for sure. But yeah, we're at, what's it called? We're at 33% proximity here. Oh, well, visualization just has not updated. We're actually having proximity like all the way to here now. It's just not updating on the visualization quick enough because proximity is just getting exponentially better. Yeah. Do you have proximity all the way here? No way, right? Yeah, we don't. But I mean, it's not that bad. I should try to build more gravel roads because a lot of these are actually just going through like no road connections. So unfortunately, part of the proximity reduction from Zongdu is actually fake news. If you look here, we can see we're getting supposedly 35 proximity in Liaocheng, but yeah, that's not true. If you just like look at this, you can see that we're not getting any control. So yeah, it's the way it actually works is that this is actually minus 10%, and the scaling from silver production doesn't do anything. I have decided to do the tribute again because I want to try to get enough mandate to get the other thing that gives us more proximity cost, the centralized civil registration thing. We do complete the tax reformation though, that's going to be good. Although what's not going to be good is that this hurts my mandate growth a little bit, I think. I think we're going to lose this point 0.1 from reform tax system. I don't think this will be allowed to continue anymore. Yeah, it's been stopped from doing that, so now I'm only getting 0.05 a month, but we'll get events. So we should be able to get up to 20 relatively easily. We're just going to have a lot of inflation because of it, but we'll get minus 10 inflation for beating this disaster. And also minus 15 war exhaustion. So that's kind of an insane amount of minus war exhaustion that it gives. Oh yeah, and we get 5 celestial authority from this, and minus 5 inflation. Yeah, that's good. Pick that up. Wow, this is a big secession. We've been having to deal with quite a lot of secessions over the last little bit. Yeah, I'm trying my best. It's quite annoying, but we're almost out. We're not quite, but we're kind of close. We're at 14 stability out of the 50 we need. But we started at like negative 60 or something, so we're over halfway through. Okay, I've got to 20 mandates. I can now stop doing tribute system, also stop minting, and go for the um I need more money. I need a little bit more money. Okay. Go for the centralized civil administrations, which will give us -5 proximity cost. There's so many wars we're in. We're getting like 5 secessions a tick or something ridiculous. I don't know how there's so many secessions. There's so many. I just pressed expand all levies and then I'm re-raising and now I get 500,000 more levies, which I guess is going to be pretty good. I can then set them all to auto siege because we really need to auto siege. I'm literally getting like 10 secessions a month, which is way too much to manually manage. Finally, but have have a reasonable amount of secessions once this is over. I just cannot see my tab anymore. It's just all banners now. I'm gonna give the Dimmy some privileges so that they hopefully can be a little bit happier. Do I want to give this privilege? Yeah. Now the Dimmy's estate satisfaction give them 70, and they're at 90 satisfaction for now. That should hopefully make Pops just like consider leaving rebellions because they're so happy, right? Surely everyone will just leave my rebellions because they're simply too happy. Apparently all these rebellions have made me core all the stuff in Hindustan. I really thought that that effect would go away after we formed Russia, but apparently not. I have hit 50 stability finally. I can restore stability in the dynasty, which is very nice. We are stable for now. We've now completed this disaster. The great disaster of death is finally over. You can go back to having a real country again, except we have to wait for the month tick for the disaster to actually complete. But we should get an event that's going to be very good for us. Yeah, -15 war exhaustion and -10 inflation is very good. I should really stop investing in stability. There's no point in investing in stability. I'm gonna embrace the Renaissance so I can actually have some good advances to research because I'm really short on good advances to research. Might want to go to tribal religious values. No, this actually isn't that useful because we don't really want to make our pops convert to our religion. Maybe the stability investment cost is worth it. But what we do want to do is go for university. We'll get a cabinet seat along the way. And then, is there anything else super important here that we can go for? I guess minus expected cost of court is good. I'm kind of confused why my nobility are so unsatisfied. Like, I don't think I've pressed an option to make them get minus satisfaction in the last 5 months. I think it's finally time to turn on the marketplaces again. Unclose the marketplaces. Turn on trade automation. We've got like 16% crown power, and I'm not investing in stability or anything, so it should be profitable to trade. Yeah, we're making 500 trade income now, and that should make institutions spread faster. I imagine that we don't have trade range. Yes, we don't have trade range to spread it there, but like what is the market capital of ours? Muscovy, do you have printing press? No, you don't. Dang, but maybe on the next month tick we'll be able to see a big increase in printing press gain, because I imagine Muscovy has trade range to something that has printing press, right? Do they actually not? Dang, that's surprising. Oh wow, printing press has really not spread very far yet. It's like just in our little pocket of Constantinople area, and yeah, that's actually just it. It's like 50% spread to like some city in northern Italy, 60% to Naples. Not very spread yet. I guess it's only been 15 years or so since the Age of Discovery started. I'm gonna put exploration on automation because we need exploration automated so we can actually see India. I just finished off a war, so now we're gonna get the nobles rebelling because they're very mad. Yeah, they're gonna take over like a fifth of our country, which isn't ideal, but oh, I need to deal with the traders insurgents actually. Um, I guess I'll have you on rebel crackdown as well. Traders insurgents. Is there more? Oh, we need to do another one. Okay. rebellion. We need to crack down on the peasants as well. Okay, well, I'm really not sure why, but the rebellion was the clergy, and also the nobility rebellion is now not gaining any support. So, wait, what? Okay, these guys are in a civil war with us. So I can now do chieftains insurgents, right? Frozen due to civil war? What? I didn't think this was a thing that happened where you couldn't reduce rebels' strength while you're in a civil war. I finally cleared out all the rebellions, except for this noble horde, which just spawned in. This noble thing got so much of my country, but it's like everywhere. I'm just gonna go carpet siege it. Hopefully in like 2 years we can have this revolt over, and then we can actually start expanding again. But finally, the Russian nobles have surrendered. And I can now disband all my levies, and then re-raise, and then we can start getting ready to fight Europe. I was trying to build some roads, but the Shangyuan market has like nowhere near enough lumber. I'm actually just gonna destroy this market. It's like too small. Yeah, now these markets will be better, and hopefully I can build my road successfully now. I was trying to build a road up to like Beijing and stuff. The road map mode is incredibly laggy. I justified a Horde expansion CB on Hungary, so we can now fight them. That's gonna be pretty nice. I'm just gonna focus siege. We've got quite a few armies over here, so we should be able to beat Hungary without too much difficulty, I think. I mean, I actually don't know how many troops Hungary and their allies have. I guess we can't see yet because they haven't raised their levies yet. It is unfortunate that I guess I should probably start building a professional army. The only thing is I can't really build Kurultais where I have control because Muscovite is not near my capital, you know? I'm gonna declare war on the coalition now. Declaring war on Orissa. This brings us into war with quite a few people, but it's actually not that many. Yeah, actually it's kind of a small coalition. I guess I'm gonna start out with most of my armies going against Khmer and Ayutthaya, and then this army can maybe focus a bit more on over here, something like that. Unfortunately, I don't really have too many armies over here. Or there's a stack right there that we can actually use. Orissa has so many forts. I think they're the second strongest economy country in the game. They were, and actually now they're not in the top economic hegemons, but they have 1,000 tax base, which is a pretty significant. Yeah, that's more than France's tax base. Just researched bureaucracy, which gives us access to 2.5 proximity cost from the Namesnik office for being a East Slavic culture group, which is pretty nice. So I just noticed there's a +1 tolerance of heathens and -10 unrest we can get from Dharmic Dhimmi communities. So you can see like right now we have 49% pop satisfaction in Chershig. If you pick this up, I believe that's going to go to like 64% or something. Maybe not quite that much because the Dhimmi got a little of minus satisfaction from that, but the Dhimmi will get their satisfaction back. So it should go up a ton. It seems to have not really gone up. I'm not looking at actually exactly the same location, I think. But something doesn't seem to be increasing it. Well, I guess the minus unrest can only apply once between Dharmic Dhimmi communities and the other things, but we still get the +1 tolerance, so that's 5 extra satisfaction. It's going to take a little bit for that satisfaction to kick in, though, because the Dhimmi lost some estate satisfaction from that, so it didn't really increase it that much in the moment, but 5 satisfaction will mean slightly less pops from rebellions, which is pretty important, you know, getting pops out of rebellions, very important, because whenever they're in a rebellion, it's pretty annoying. I'm going to start annexing Bahmanis. It's going to take us like 30 years, but I mean, we might as well annex them. I wonder if we're big enough that we're going to get the much larger bonus against someone as large as Bahmanis. Yeah, we're getting like +200% from them being much smaller than us because we're just that big. Just for fun, I kind of want to see how high I can get the annexation modifier. So I'm going to try to annex Kerman. And we can see 1.387, 1,000% bonus from them being so much smaller. It's kind of interesting that Austrian countries simply just have no antagonism with me. I wonder if that's because they can't see my capital, because if we look at the Holy Roman Empire thing, we can see that they cannot vote for us, and the reason it says that is that they don't know about me. That's kind of interesting. I think they might just not be able to get antagonism against me until I declare war on them, and then that gives them vision of my capital. Oh, my ruler died. Um, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna peace out with Poland here, and then I'm also going to peace out with Hungary. Yep, let me take another oh, I guess I'm not taking everything they have down here in the south, but I'm taking most of it. So Hungary's kind of just gonna be left with their capital and Slovakia. Pretty nice. We own most of the Balkans now. We do have this uprising in Astrakhan. Also, I have some rebels I need to go put back under 95% so I can declare on Kyiv. Oh, chieftains insurgents are very mad. I might have to take out some debt to get them to go down, but I can get the peasants down pretty easily. Just gotta... I don't think I need humanists more, right? Yeah, I already have it at 51, so we can put this guy on reducing the rebels for the peasants, and then I need to like bribe the nobility or something. Oh yeah, since I'm over 75 Horde Unity, I can take the throne, so I stop getting the minus Horde Unity penalty from being in a regency. I do still get one from having a fresh ruler, but it's not as bad. Wait, can you not get a new... What? Okay, we have a child. Good. I thought maybe because our husband was dead, we couldn't get a new one. We can't get an heir, but it looks like we have an heir anyway, so that's fine. I'm getting a big call for peace in my war with Orissa, so I'm gonna peace out Vijayanagar, taking... What? That's a scam. Yeah, obviously the reason that that happened is because we don't actually have a connection to here. That's, that's unfortunate that it works like that. I guess, yeah, we should have peace out Orissa. And yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. I guess I'll do this. We can almost fully annex Orissa. We're actually leaving them with the fort there as well, but this is fine. They're basically full annexed. And we just get our war exhaustion to go back down, and we can't stay in that war because it's giving us too much call for peace. Apparently there's some rebellions that we need to go deal with because they're gonna get enforced peace pretty soon. Minyang or Minyag over here. Okay, go for that. And then Halich over here. That should be pretty easy. I've got 10,000 troops just sort of sitting there. I was kind of planning on no CB in Kyiv, but I just got an event that makes me declare a cut down in size war on Byzantium. It's not a very good CB, but we get to auto-conquer anyway, right? So the CB doesn't really matter too much. This does drag us into a coalition war, I think. Okay, Kyiv is in it. And these guys are in it, which is actually good. I kind of didn't realize these guys are in the coalition, but that's going to be really nice. Because yeah, we'll actually better get down to having a connection with the Vijayanagar now for future wars with them. So I just took over another autocephalous patriarchate, and for some reason that reduced my tolerance of heathens from +2 from it to +1. That's pretty unfortunate. To make up for that, I will slot in the religious tolerance government reform to give me that one extra tolerance because I don't want to be having too many rebellions. I'm gonna max pay for tribute system because right before we took the mandate, or I think right before we took the mandate, they flipped the law to hygiene, which is really bad because this gives them minus 10% trade efficiency. Allow trade is much better because we get +2.5 trade efficiency. Also, we get a little bit of minus proximity cost through maritime. Oh yeah, this is actually reminding me that I built up a bunch of barks at some point. I should use those. Let me just unraise my naval levy so I can actually find these easier. Okay, apparently that did not make things much easier. I know that somewhere I have a bunch of barks that I was building. Okay, they're just like in these stacks. Yeah. Okay, well I'm gonna grab all my navies and like why am I like not able to disband the levies? Okay, I'm gonna just try to disband all the naval levies because we really don't need them. We have so many barks that I'm getting 7 maritime presence per month. I did just get a CB on Volhynia though, so I can use that and start expanding more west. I could co-belligerent the Teutons to call in Bohemia. Do I want to fight Bohemia? They've got a lot of forts. Yeah, I think we want to fight them. Or how many forts do the Teutons have? No, let's not fight Bohemia. Let's not do that right now. We'll leave Bohemia for later. Just fight Volhynia and the Teutonic Order. Since I fully annexed Volhynia, now Bohemia has joined the war. I didn't really expect that, but it's not that bad. I'm gonna get Bohemia out of the war by offering them exemption from sound tolls. Their army's a little bit too strong. We need to wait till we get pike and shot pro armies to fight them, I think. I am trying to culture convert our home region to, what's it called, Muscovite, so we can build Kurultais, but that's gonna take forever because these states have so many pops. I got a hunting accident event that was gonna kill my ruler, so I just abdicated. And so as a woman, you can abdicate. And I think that is gonna make him not die. Yep, that made him not die, so that's good. Um, yeah, this guy's got 72 admin skill, which will mean our proximity gets pretty significantly better, assuming that it's actually applying. I think it is, though, yeah. Yeah, we're getting minus 7.2% now, which is significantly better. We can see we got pretty good proximity, like all the way to Beijing, like 40-something% probably. I'm getting a lot of war exhaustion from this war with the Teutons. So I'm just gonna have them dismantle their forts in like Königsberg and there, and then I'll just conquer as much of their country as I can. I guess I can tell them to not dismantle that fort because I'll just conquer it. Because I don't want to keep getting more war exhaustion. It's pretty bad, especially the trade efficiency and production efficiency. Not good to have those modifiers be so negative. Then I should have a cabinet member on putting that back down. I'm probably already at max humanist again, so I can take that guy off of changing societal values. Yeah, I can put him onto, what's it called? A reduced war exhaustion now. I'm gonna stop paying for the tribute system because I just hit 20 celestial authority. Now what I am gonna need to do is take out some loans so that I can do this policy change because it does require a lot of money. That is gonna make us pay a little bit of interest, but actually it's not that bad. I think I've got some decent interest rate modifiers. So yeah, this is gonna make my trade income go from 1211 to, let's see what it's gonna be once I swap to enact allow trade. This will get us 4/5 of the way there because we have to wait for the 2.5 to come into effect, but the minus 10 will instantly go away. All the way to 1481 immediately. That's a pretty nice increase. The pike and shot has finally spread to 20% of my locations. It took a while, but it's finally here. Printing press is getting kind of close as well. It's just like slightly behind. But that is going to be very good because that means I can now go for the voivode and, or I should clear out my tech tree because I really do not care about these other buildings. Yeah, we just want to go straight for the voivode. And then once we get that, we want to go for falconet so we can get the artillery. And then I'm just going to try to like assault as much forts as possible. Or actually, no, I should just do like a infantry to assault with, I think. Yeah, let's just do an infantry and assault all the forts. I think that's going to be best. I can now embrace the printing press as well. We're getting kind of close to voivode. I guess I'll put in my queue some of the printing press text we want. We obviously want a lot of text from printing press. I'll take printing press itself. I'm going to go down to paved road, and then cabinet seat, then promote institutions. We want promote institutions so that we can actually get the age 4 institutions immediately. Going confessionalism will be nice for that minus 5% proximity cost from Supreme Court. I'm so used to this having 3 options because there's usually the monarchy reform here, but we're a tribe, so we don't see that. We're slowly getting a bunch of random locations integrated. I think this is because of the base province integration. There's like a 0.02 base, and since we've owned these locations for like 150 years or whatever, if they have a low quantity of locations in the province, then it integrates faster. I think that's why the ones that have integrated have. I guess these ones that are partially integrated, maybe part of it was in a rebellion for a while or something. I'm not really sure. You can see you got quite a lot of random cores, and I've not been using the integrate province action that much. Finally, voivode has been researched, so I can now swap out. I guess I swap out bank ledger system. I don't want to lose tolerance, so I guess I have to swap this one out. It's going to mean we're going to lose a little bit of our income, but we got to do it for voivode. Minus 10% proximity cost is definitely worth. And we can't obviously that proximity is going to take a little bit to get into effect, but we can actually see what it's going to be. Because if we hover over location right now, we're actually getting that right now as this number because, we're getting 20% from Zongdu, but it's actually only applying 10%. So that's basically what Voivode will be at once we have it go to 100%, which is going to take like what, a year and a half or something. Yeah, March 15, 18. I got training fields, so I'm going to shift click build all the training fields in the regions that are kind of close to our capital, because things outside of that aren't going to have too good of control, and thus we're not going to get too much stuff. You can see we've almost fully embraced Voivode now, and proximity is looking a lot better. We're getting a little bit into Mongolia even. We could get just a little bit more, we can maybe start pushing into the steppes, and from there, the proximity cost reductions are pretty easy to get all the way to Europe, which should be nice. But for now, proximity pretty much extends to like Beijing is where we have like good proximity to. And so many training fields when we zoom in, that's going to create a lot of lag. But this is going to give us so much manpower, which we'll be able to use to start actually expanding into Europe. You'll notice we haven't really done that much expansion into Europe yet. I mean, we've got most of Eastern Europe, but Western Europe we have not really conquered into at all. The tax base graph from getting Voivode is kind of insane. Wow, that's certainly an increase. A CB is about to be done on Vijayanagar. I should probably disband levies so we can maybe re-raise them. Okay, we can re-raise so many more levies. 1.8 million because we got better control, I guess. But we can also start making a professional army, which is going to be very good. I'm just going to control click. This says it builds in the best location. Is it actually? No, it's just building them all here. What? What if I shift click? Okay, well that does not seem to be doing anything smart. So I guess I'm gonna have to do this manually. I really thought this might work, but I'm gonna have to manually spread it out, and yeah, we'll get a good amount of army units to fight Vijayanagar. We're just gonna be assaulting all the forts now that we have a professional army. I've got my like 100,000 regulars here ready to fight Vijayanagar. Horde expansion. 100,000 regulars should mean we can just assault like everything. Focus siege. Shift click everything, and then I'm just going to manually be pressing the assault button whenever it reaches a fort. I can now embrace the New World institution, which is going to be a little bit nice. There isn't too much we need to do in that institution, but I will go for this +1 tolerance of heathen beliefs and plus 50% trade range. By the time we get to that +1 tolerance of heathen beliefs, we might just be on to the next age stuff, really. Yeah, I kind of think we probably will be. I'm going to declare war on Hosiala, and that's going to bring us into war with the coalition. But yeah, I'm just going to siege them down. I've managed to pretty much fully annex Vijayanagar and their allies, so now we're on to this next war. I'm going to need to use my like 1,000,000 levies for Europe for now, because I don't actually have, what's it called? I don't have enough pro armies to go over here yet. Eventually we'll get training field, or we'll get more training fields, and we can have armies for Europe as well, but I just don't have the stuff for that quite yet. I just unlocked the paved road tech, so I'm gonna spend 143,000 ducats to upgrade all of my roads to paved roads. Do I just barely have enough money to afford it, or am I actually gonna run out of money? My guess is that I'm actually just gonna run out of money. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am. But, I mean, we're gonna be upgrading quite a lot of roads. The game did not like that. It took like 3 minutes or something to spend all my money on the roads. I had to get a nobility rebellion under 95, but I can now declare war on Bohemia, and I've got a lot of troops ready to fight Bohemia. Yeah, we're gonna be starting to expand into the Holy Roman Empire. I'm actually like not sure if I'm gonna end up forming Holy Roman Empire or not. My guess is that I'm not, but maybe I should. I mean, it would be nice. I probably have so much great power score that they're like forced to vote for me. Like, how much are they getting from great power score for Bohemia? 100? And I think I have like 10 times the great power score of Bohemia or something, so I would basically be guaranteed to win. The only problem is I don't actually know if they can vote for a steppe horde. Well, the war isn't going perfectly, but obviously we have such a big numbers advantage that we simply can't really lose the war. Bohemia just has like more regulars as a fraction of their army, so they're not as weak as it seems. They have a pretty good fraction of regulars. But yeah, we're gonna try our best. Can I bring this army to this battle, please, to actually win it? Oh, it's gonna be close. No, we lose that battle. I should just retreat. Brandenburg's now going to accept losing all their territories except for their territories in Western Holy Roman Empire. I think I'm going to do that because their capital is occupied by Poland or something anyway, so I wouldn't better full annex them. I just finished sieging Prague, so yeah, Bohemia is getting pretty weakened at this point. Slowly finishing them off. This is kind of my first hard war in a while. Well, I kind of wanted to go diplomatic in this era because it gives 10 tax efficiency, 20 efficiency of cabinet, which are very nice modifiers. We might want to use that to crush rebels. Or military seemed reasonable because they gave 20 siege ability, but ultimately I've had to decide on administrative because it gives us +1 tolerance of heathens, which is going to be pretty good for trying to keep rebellions down and yeah, we're gonna need to keep a lot of rebellions down for the late game of this run, I think. The first institution just spawned, and it's actually the one we want the most, confessionalism. So I'm gonna start using promote institutions in the capital. Obviously, promote institutions very strong. I justified a CB on Bremen. I could start using no CB really. It's like not that expensive, especially if I put on like the religious reform or religious privilege for -10% war on other religions cost. But I'm gonna declare this war. We're dragging in the coalition, and I've co-belligerented a ton of people, so we're going to be ending up fighting, like, almost the entire Holy Roman Empire, I think. Yeah, like, almost the entire Holy Roman Empire is at war with us now. But that means we have a lot of countries we can conquer, because there are a total of 85 members of the Holy Roman Empire. If we can conquer all of those, that is a very significant portion of the countries remaining. There's somewhere between 371 and 802 countries. The thing is, a lot of these countries that we don't have diplomatic range to is because they don't have any locations. I'm getting a billion war exhaustion. I think it's coming from Call for Peace in this war. Oh, looks like actually the Austria war is also too long. Okay, well, we're just going to peace out for as much land as we can get, I guess, because yeah, I don't want to be sitting on 20 war exhaustion and then just get randomly forced pieced out of wars. So I'm gonna do the best that I can. Oh, I can't take. I forgot that anything disconnected is gonna get given back unless I can full annex. So yeah, I guess I try to assault this fort. If I can assault that fort, then we can take this entire area, and that'll be a good way to sink war score. So there's that peace deal. I don't think we're gonna keep this stuff in Munster. I think it's just gonna go back. Yeah, it does. But whatever, we had to do it because we're getting too much called for peace. I need to put a cabinet member on trying to fix that, actually. Wait, is Zedong actually converting to Muscovite? Oh wow, it actually is. I kind of expected that to take a lot longer, but it's actually happening. Um, uh, uh, hmm. Which cabinet member do I want to take off? I guess this one, 'cause chieftain insurgents are pretty low, and looks like they're not even going up at all. So I can put you on reduce war exhaustion now. And then I guess I'll do a peace deal like this with Austria, because I need to get rid of the war with them as well to get my war exhaustion to start going down. I've fully occupied the Papal States mainland, but they have some colonies over here. And because of how piecing out works, it like returns all land. If unless you full annex a country, it will return all the land that you don't have a connection to. And I'm pretty sure this includes naval connections don't count, I think. So, since we can't piece out for Papal States land in the Americas because I don't have it explored, I'm gonna no CB Naples so that we can get a connection. Naples is allied to Milan, so this will get us the connection I need. Naples has ended up calling France into a war against me. I kind of was thinking about piecing out France, but I think I've decided against it. Um, yeah, France is pretty strong, although most of their army is levies, so we do stand a decent chance. Like, we're not losing too badly in this battle, even though we're way outnumbered because our army is professionals. But yeah, I need to probably bring this army like here. Try my best to beat France, but I mean, it's kind of tough. I mean, I've got a lot of armies, so I should win the war eventually. It's just like sort of a matter of how long it's going to take. And you can see my manpower pool is not doing that good. I should try to save up for more training fields, but they are pretty expensive to get a lot of manpower from. My fights with France are actually not doing that good. I think it's better to just peace out with France. The reason that I'm not doing good is because my troops are not at full strength because of, being in so many battles and assaulting all the forts. So I'm just going to offer France sound toll exemption to leave the war. Yeah. Sound toll exemption is such an overpowered peace deal option, but I'm going to take use of it. If I couldn't use that, then I would just use something like humiliate, obviously. I've hit 20% global trade, so I can embrace the institution now. Global trade doesn't have too much valuable stuff, but there is one thing that I definitely want to go for, and that is the minus 5% separatism we get from having the Cossacks estate. This is going to be pretty nice because that effectively means 5 pop satisfaction, so it's an equivalent of 1 tolerance of heathens, which is always a nice modifier to get. I don't know if there's anything else that's really too useful for us. I think the rest of this really isn't that useful. So probably after we get that, I'll have a different institution embraced to do something else. Artillery or confessionalism would both have better stuff, I think, than the rest of global trade. I got 20% of my locations with artillery as well, so I'll embrace that. I am going to just queue up stuff after the separatism, because I do want to get the separatism. But what I'll go for is this +1 tolerance of heathens. Then, there's quite a bit of good stuff. I think I'll go for this minus 33% trade range used over land as the next most important thing. Because if you look right now, we're making 3,000 income from trade. And I think it's going to like double our trade range effectively. Because what is our trade range used over land right now? It's a minus 20%. So it'll become minus 53% after we get that. There might be some more sources I can stack. But you can see right now we can trade kind of far. But if we had that minus 33%, we could trade way further. I've just made a new army. I've also justified a CB on Verona. So yeah, I'm gonna declare war on Verona. Oops, I kind of meant to co-belligerent Bohemia. Okay, that's a bit of a mistake that I didn't go belligerent them. It's not a huge deal. We just would have been able to drag in a lot of the HRE if I'd co-belligerented Bohemia, but it's not a huge deal. Got confessionalism up to 20% as well, so I can now embrace that. Now, confessionalism is actually probably more important than that stuff. I mean, it would be more important than separatism probably too, but I'm just gonna wait for after the separatism to go for Supreme Court. And then we'll go back to doing the text over here, like tolerance of heathens, and then the minus trade range used over land. And then actually from there, I think I want to go back to the Age of Discovery to get more trade range used over land from merchant trails, and that'll get me up to like minus 2/3 of my trade range used over land, which is going to be really nice to stack that modifier to get more trade income, because if I get enough trade income, I can give the Dhimmi the lighter taxation privilege, which will make them like 100 satisfaction, because I'll also be taxing them 25% less. And so that will make it so we're basically getting 0 revolts outside of our Sunni territory. And Sunni territory doesn't get that many revolts. I mean, we get some revolts in like Iran and stuff, but it's not a huge deal. I think it's finally time to fight France. Our expansion into Europe is going pretty good. I think by 1600 we should have pretty much all of Europe under our control. I mean, like we're on very good pace for that. We've conquered all the way through like Central Europe pretty much. I mean, there's like maybe 20 countries still existing, but they're all like 2 provinces or less pretty much. I've got a ton of armies, and so yeah, I'm gonna send them to all of the southern French forts, I think. I don't think France is gonna hold for particularly long. I mean, it's gonna be longer than all the previous wars, probably, or against single countries at least, but it's not gonna be that bad. Probably like a 5-year war. That is the max time before war exhaustion starts ticking, I guess. The war hasn't been going quite as well as I kind of expected, but it is like 1.5 years in, and I'm now assaulting Paris. You can see I've sort of snaked around to Paris. The French army has been killing some of my stacks, but they're kind of out of regulars at this point, I think. Let's take a look at their army composition. They have 8,500 regulars, so yeah, that's really not that many. And there is the fall of Paris. I wonder where their capital is going to end up moving to. Now the French capital is in Toulouse, so their proximity is a lot worse. War with France took a little bit long, so we are getting call for peace, but it's not too bad, means we only have zero point 0.2 war exhaustion. And yeah, I can now demand all of France's mainland territories. They still have some stuff in the New World, but we can't see that stuff yet, so we can't ask for it. That's gonna be my peace deal. And yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, no, I think I probably took these things, but they get sent back to France because I don't have a connection. Now, next war is going to be against Tunis. This is going to call in a coalition as well. Kind of a big coalition, but not really. It's kind of just Aragon, Morocco, Tunis, and then a bunch of Holy Roman Empire countries. Oh yeah, since I fully annexed Hungary, which was the diplomatic hegemon, we are now diplomatic hegemon. So I should have one of my cabinet members on diplomatic corps, because that'll give me a lot more diplomats, which is going to be very nice for being able to declare war, because I can make more spy networks because of that. I'm really not sure who we want to go after. And there's quite a bit of things to expand into. Maybe after I get this trade range used over land, I should actually try to go into getting a better boat because it would be nice to actually deal with all these island nations that I'm sort of just letting live because I don't have good enough boats. Yeah, I should probably try to get some boats. I declared a war on Savoy, which called in Spain, so we're in kind of another pretty big war. This is we're getting pretty close to owning all of continental Europe. Definitely gonna own all of continental Europe by 1600. Getting a piece out of the Spain War, taking some stuff from England because they joined Spain, and also taking Spain. Wait, what? I didn't get Spain's territory in Morocco? That's weird. I have a connection there, right? Oh. Darn Gobbus secession stopping my ability to take that. That's unfortunate. We got that minus 33% shade range used over land modifier, which is going to be pretty nice. From Pest, we can reach like all the way to Delhi now. So the Europeans, our European markets will be able to trade with the East now, at least to some extent. Before, they would have had to go through like probably a ton of markets. Now it's like one market in between probably, which is going to make things a lot less of a problem. Yeah, now that increased our trade revenue by seemingly like 600 or something already, which, yeah, that's a pretty big jump. Our revenue right now is not very good, or total income, because we're spending 9,000 on cost of court because our ruler died recently. Dang, I pieced out Sweden, but I didn't get to annex them because I think I forgot to click this tile here. And so it gave them back all their island territories. A little bit unfortunate that that's the debuff of getting the auto conquers that you lose everything that's disconnected. I just got the Horde Civil War disaster, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, it's not a huge deal. Minus 20 stab is not ideal. We had like two ruler deaths right in a row, I think, pretty much. I can't make this region take the throne because we're in the disaster and we couldn't do it before because we had potential disasters. Um, oh, we're just gonna be in this disaster forever until I get a ruler, which I don't know if that's even possible. Oh no. I better not have gotten the infinite Horde Civil War disaster. You just have to go monarchy if you want to delete it. Um, yeah, I need to go look at my Crown Estate characters and see if any of them are potentially going to... We have no Crown Estate? No, that can't be right. Hmm. Well, I think the reason we have no Crown characters is because they just got unassigned from the Crown because we had no heir. Um, I think that this disaster might better get us a ruler. Hopefully, at least. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck with these debuffs for the rest of the game, which I guess they're not, like, completely terrible. We have this rivaling warlord thing. Is that going to be a big problem? I assume it's not taking that much of my country because my people are pretty happy. R what? I cannot see the rivaling warlord? I guess it's because I have has progress. Okay. Oh, wow, that's getting a lot of my country. 165 million pops. That is a lot. Wow. Okay, I actually got scammed. It said that they were gonna get annexed, but it didn't annex them. No, this is such a scam. Dang. Do they secretly have territory here? 'Cause it said they were gonna get annexed. So I'm actually very confused. I guess I just have to actually full occupy everything if I want to make sure I get their islands and stuff. I can't just be piecing them out. Yeah. Well, I just got the Pretender Rebellion. Unfortunately, I thought I was going to get an event from this that was going to let me become this guy as my ruler, but I did not. So I think I'm just going to have to set all of my armies to carpet siege everything, and we're going to have to hope for the best. I mean, it should be an easy win because they have nothing around China, which is where the vast majority of our strength is. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in a permanent Horde civil war because the person I thought might become my ruler has hit 18 and it didn't happen, so I'm pretty confident that we're sort of going to be stuck in this Horde civil war disaster for the rest of the game. Luckily, it's really not that bad. The only downside would be get constant ruler changes, but since they're all regents, it's actually not costing us Horde unity. But we do get this like minus to Horde unity monthly, so it's not amazing, but it's not like that bad. So it's kind of fine. Like we're getting 0.05 from having the disaster as well. So I'm kind of just gonna go with this for the rest of the game because if it were to swap up to like monarchy, or maybe not the whole game, but for a while at least, because if I go monarchy, I can't raise levies while at war. I don't know where the tech is, but there's some tech that lets you raise levies when you are at peace, and we need that tech, and it's exclusive to step boards. Hungary is my favorite Emilian country. This is so realistic. Well, automatic colonization is spending so much of my money. I need to turn off auto colony. 2,500? I mean, I want some colonies, but I don't want them that badly. Wow. 63 more colonial charters? I think it's finally time to invade Japan. It's been a while, but I think it's time. I had to get a diplomat. We keep going back and forth as diplomatic hegemon, me and Majapahit, but I did manage to get it back, so that let me get a diplomat. Otherwise, I have to use diplomatic spending to get diplomats. Yeah, I think my army should be strong enough. I did forget to research pikemen for a while. I'm currently researching them. That'll let me have 800 per combat with troops instead of 400, which will be a lot better. But we have to live with this for now. Hopefully the enemy still hasn't upgraded to 1,000 fort garrison. Yeah, looks like at least Japan hasn't. So yeah, I'm just going to be assaulting all the forts, and I should probably ship more armies over to different points, because I have a lot of army over here that I can ship over. And plan is just going to be to try to assault all of Japan as fast as possible. Well, only like half of Japan is in this war, so once we take it all over, we'll probably have to then do another war with the other half. Japan has surprisingly strong armies. Like, yeah, I actually wish I had pikemen. 'Cause their troops are putting up a decent fight. I mean, to be fair, I have no generals, but yeah. I mean, like, I actually lost a battle, but that was because I didn't have balance unit. I won that second battle, but like, I was way outnumbering them, so yeah, it's not super clear that we're like way winning. I just unlocked pikemen, so I'm gonna upgrade all my armies to pikemen. I kind of forgot about this upgrade feature, but it's gonna be really useful. It seems to be incredibly cheap. Wow, this is so cheap. Well, that's gonna be super useful, right? Yeah, I mean, pikemen are just twice as good. So we are gonna have to wait for the manpower to recover, obviously, but once the manpower recovers, we're just gonna be in such a good position. Yeah, I think we're doing very good. Wow, many people are dying to this outbreak of the bubonic plague. I should really have built more hospitals. Yeah, our population has gone down like 40 million or something. Just gonna build hospitals everywhere I can to try to make future disease outbreaks a little bit less bad. You can see I've conquered most of Japan. There's pretty much just one country left in Japan, the Yijuan. They're currently in a civil war. They also had some territory over here that we conquered, so I own a little bit of the Philippines. I'm not sure if I want to fight Majapahit next. I think Majapahit or Sunda into Majapahit, because Sunda is a tributary of Majapahit, could make some sense. We have a pretty big navy, so I think we have a decent chance of beating them. A lot of galleons. We are the naval hegemon now. They were naval hegemon for a while, but we finally have taken over. Nice thing with killing Majapahit is we'll stop losing Diplo hegemon, and it has been pretty annoying losing Diplo hegemon. So that might be worth doing just so that we stop losing Diplo hegemon. I think my next war is going to be a no CB on Sunda. The rebellion is still going on in Japan, so no point in fighting them till that's over at least. Otherwise, we'd have to fight them again after the rebellion wins. So yeah, I'm gonna invade Majapahit. I'm gonna start out by sending this army over to the capital of Sunda area, so like Java, and then from there I should gather food, right? That would be good to have food for this navy. But yeah, I'm gonna send it to roughly Java area, and then we can take Java, which is of course where the majority of the pops are, and from there be in a pretty good position. Yeah, you can see vast majority of the pops are in Java. It's all green in Java versus yellow and brown and Borneo and stuff. Since we take over Java, their troops and stuff should be less strong. Majapahit does have a comparable navy to us, though. In fact, they have a stronger navy, but hopefully their navy isn't in one piece, so we should be fine to beat them. Oh, apparently we ended up at war with these guys. Okay, I didn't realize they were in the coalition, but I guess that makes some sense. Well, this is gonna cost a lot of money, but I think it's gonna be worth it. I am going to give the Dhimmi lighter taxation. So this should pretty much remove rebels from the game, I think. Because our Dhimmi are going to be permanent 100 satisfaction after this. We'll see what the pop satisfaction map mode looks like after a month tick with 100 satisfaction. Or not quite 100, but basically 100 satisfaction on the Dhimmi. Because now our tax rates are way lower and they get plus 10 satisfaction from that privilege. And yep, Europe is basically all green, and I assume my rebel screen is probably a whole lot shorter. Yeah, it's still kind of long, but it's so much shorter. Yeah, yeah, I think this would have taken a lot of lag to load before. And I assume most of the rebels now are actually going to be in Sunni territory. Actually, not that many. The Moroccans, I assume, are Sunni, but the rest of these do still look to be um, other religions. Why are they so upset? Oh, these are ulema, so they don't care about the Dhimmi? Interesting. What in the world is this event? The traders must have so much money saved up. I'm stealing 232,000 from them. I think they have 1.5 million ducats sitting in their balance. That's kind of insane. Let's see, 1,552,000. Yep, that's 1 million, 1.5 million. So we just steal a casual 230,000 ducats from the burgers. For this Majapahit war, I have to do it all in one war, or else I'm pretty sure all of the territory will go back to Majapahit. So currently just sort of cleaning up their country. Luckily, some of my subjects are helping out. That is the nice thing about keeping subjects, at least till this point. I do think I'm going for a one tag world conquest, meaning all of our vassals are going to have to go, except for colonial nations, which we don't have any of yet, but we're definitely going to get some as we conquer England or something. And there's no way to get rid of them, so I gotta count them, just like normal one tag world conquests do. Of course, there's true one tag world conquests in EU5, and you could do or in EU4, and you could do a similar thing in EU5, but that would be pretty tough because you'd have to conquer the New World before you annex any of the overlords. And some of the overlords' final territory is in the New World. That could be kind of confusing. I just fully annexed Majapahit. It took quite a lot of island hopping, but I like split my navy in two, and we finally have done it. I don't know why the sidebar sometimes does this, where it like shrinks and expands. But yeah, we have a second army or a second navy somewhere over here, and I've just sort of been island hopping. We own quite a bit of this stuff. We've got a lot of these guys as tributaries, though. Oh, we lost all of the territory in Palembang from not fully annexing. What's their name? Majapahit, because I guess now they're our tributary. Unfortunate. Wait, no, they're our vassal now. I thought they were a tributary of Majapahit, but I guess they're a vassal. Well, that's good. That means we can try to annex them instead of having to release and then annex. That's a little bit easier. I managed to spy on Naples, or maybe it was their subject. I can't remember. But we can now see Qatari Empire. I was kind of worried that I'd have to like do the 1.0.8 beta to explore inland to find them, but we were able to use spy networks to get to them. Because yeah, exploration inland is completely broken on 1.0.7. You just can't do it, which is a little bit unfortunate. I got this event that will replace my regent with someone who has plus 10 tax efficiency and also really good stats. So I guess that's going to be pretty nice. I'm actually not sure if that's a Russia event or if that's a Horde succession event. I think that's probably a Russia event that happens to set regent instead of ruler if you have like specific conditions. Because it's Orthodox? I don't know though. No CB England. I've made a pretty big navy and army and stuff. And as far as I can tell, England only has stuff on their mainland and this island right here off the coast of France. I did the math, and the number of locations seemed to add up. Maybe shouldn't have consolidated that. But yeah, I'm just gonna ship across the English Channel, and it should be a fairly easy war, getting us all of England's colonies, which will be very nice to get. Unfortunately, Spain is a little bit harder because they have their capital in Zacatecas, so that's going to be pretty hard to reach. I'm currently trying to spy on some Aztecs and stuff to get maps to where other Castile's other locations are or something. I guess I'll show this a little bit of how this war goes. Landing in Dover, and then we just push out and assault the forts. That's pretty much the plan. I don't know why it's not letting me tell this army to move. Oh, there's a fort in Canterbury and here. I didn't realize there's a fort in Hastings. Okay, that would explain why I wasn't able to go there. But yeah, you sort of just assault all the forts, and it's kind of easy. That's the nice thing about having like 500,000 manpower. Also, the auto conquer means we can replenish troops easier. It's so nice that whenever we conquer something, it just lets us replenish troops there without having to go back to our own territory. Otherwise, this would be a lot harder. But with that, we can do it relatively simply. I thought I got all of England's locations. Did they colonize while I was doing this, actually? That would be very unfortunate. Oh, they've got some stuff over here. Dang, I really thought I had added it up and I was gonna get everything. Well, this is only like 2 locations here. I wonder where the rest of their locations could be. I don't know, but what I do know is that I have a lot of ships, and so I'm going to ship my troops over to wherever their capital moves after we take the current one. I just made my CB on them. That's not actually gonna be useful. I should have started making it a little bit earlier so that I could have actually used it. They're gonna try to kill my fleet, but my fleet should have enough heavy ships that it should win, I think. Oh, is it? Is it not balanced correctly? It's not. I should balance that. Okay, let's go. Send our army on. And yeah, I'm gonna try my best to annex England in this war, because getting Canada and America for free will be very nice. That should let us create troops in the New World, which will help out a lot with killing Spain and stuff. Well, that's not where you want to see England's capital. That is not quite a good location to see it in. I'm going to try my best to steal maps. I can't steal maps here. Um, red. No. Okay, it just doesn't let me steal maps there. So I guess I have to steal maps of the Hudson Bay. Yeah, that's gonna be best because that way we can actually land somewhere here. It's really not ideal, but I'm going to try my best. Here's my navy. I got defeated somehow. Maybe I should let it repair a little bit. I probably should let it repair a little bit. Yeah. After a pretty long trek through Canada and America, we finally have made it to the English colony. We'll see how big the English colonies are over here after we conquer this. Their capital's probably going to move again, and we might have to do that a couple times, but we should eventually manage to full annex them, assuming they don't have something somewhere else in the world. I'm also trying to annex Scotland, so I've sent a transport ship over here. There's probably like a 70% chance that it gets killed before it gets there, to be honest, because I didn't actually give it any heavy ships or anything. But there's maybe a small chance it makes it there. It might have already died. I pressed C on that pop-up too quickly, honestly. Oh, wait, it's actually here. Okay. Well, that's good. We'll finally be able to see where the final Scottish province is. They have one location outside of these two in New Granada. And so once their capital moves, I'll see where that is. Did the English capital move yet? Yep, there it is. Okay, so we'll go there. Okay, there's actually a surprising amount of Scottish troops here, so I actually died. But their troops went into the boat for some reason, so maybe I can just go back in and occupy it? I'm actually so confused why their troops went into that boat, but okay, the troops were faking the boat. I got scammed. Dang. I tried to retreat into Nicoli, but I failed. Well, this is our first big colonial country we're annexing. England, I believe, yep, that's their final location. We flip Canada, we flip America. Now there are colonial nations. They are disloyal though, actually. -20 from no representation is not exactly ideal, but they're not that disloyal. 49.57 is not like super disloyal, it's just barely disloyal. But yeah, we got these countries in the Americas now, which means I can create armies here now, I believe. I believe that's what no representation does. Lets you create armies in your subject. Okay, why is it doing this little bit of a bug? Um, hmm, interesting. It says we can only build units in locations that we own, and this is a part of Canada. It also says the sergeantry thing, but the fact that it says both implies that maybe we can't. Huh. I'm very confused what no representation even does then, because I believe that the point of representation is that it blocks you from doing these things. Yeah, it blocks you from building regiments and stuff. I'm finally landing Scotland. It took so many tries of making armies, but we're finally here. I'm also going to be going for Castile's possessions here, I think. Although, I don't actually know that I can steal maps from anyone to get there. That might be a problem. Hopefully Castile's possessions are actually big enough. But yeah, their final thing is in Bermuda. I realized this that we can just look in this menu and find it. And actually, oh, I need to make a backup here just in case, because sometimes it seems like what happens is even if you do a full NX peace deal, it goes away. So I should make a backup before I do this peace deal. Well, I tried it, and yeah, it didn't work. So I guess that confirms that we can't do that ever. I think we're winning this battle against Scotland. I really don't know. Our navy is not that good. Okay, yeah, we win. Well, what I'm gonna do is split off like 2 battalions to go naval invade Bermuda, and then we'll get Scotland. And then the rest of the army here needs to try its best to get to Castile here, but I don't know how we get maps to there. I kind of doubt that the uh, Aztecs or whatever have maps. The native Mexican area have maps all the way down here. So I don't know how we get maps there unless Naples has them, but I don't think Naples does. Um, I guess I don't have a diplomat right now anyway. I can do a little bit of diplomatic spending. I've been sort of toggling on and off diplomatic spending as I need diplomats recently. And there is the annexation of Scotland, giving us Asupnik as a vassal, or Asupink as a vassal, not a vassal, a colonial nation, which is pretty nice. Next on our target is Castile, which I am working on. I believe Castile has yeah, Castile's only location is this, so we just need to get maps there and then we're good. It's just that getting maps there is not going to be particularly simple. Can I actually get maps of this from the um, Aztec region? Yes! We get maps. We can now annex Castile. This is amazing. Now all of the Spanish colonies should get transferred to me as we fully occupy Castile. Yep, and that should hopefully finish off this huge war exhaustion we've been getting from Call for Peace in that war. Or actually, I think this was in the same war, right? If we look at Call for Peace, 12th War of Russian Aggression. Yeah, it's against these guys. So maybe I just peace out with them. I don't think I can take their land. I'm pretty sure I'll just get back to them. I guess I'll try just in case it'll work because I do have stuff here. I don't. No. I'm like 100% sure it's not gonna work. Hmm. Do I? Do I just fight them now? I mean, we're gonna get a lot of war exhaustion, but it's probably worth doing. It's probably worth. No, we don't have a big enough army to assault. I think so. I'm just gonna piece them out. Take some money, and we'll fight them later because I don't want to deal with the war exhaustion. I'm gonna deck Kano. This calls in. I co-belligerent in Mali, and that calls in Morocco as well. So goal is gonna be to full annex all 3 of those guys in this war. I'm not actually sure that we have a connection to Mali. I think we do. Might not, but I think if I use violate sovereignty, we should. I don't know exactly who we'll need to violate sovereignty on, but I'm just gonna set my guys to carpet siege everything, and hopefully they'll get as much as we can get. Or maybe I should have told them to focus siege. I don't know. I'll grab the big armies that we get here and then put them on the forts, and of course assault them. Apparently I didn't end up at war with Morocco. Oh, that's a little bit weird. Okay, actually that's maybe bad because that means we can't get to Mali as easily. I think I'm just no CB Morocco to make sure we can get over there. It's not great for the war exhaustion and stuff, but being a horde does make no CBing pretty cheap. I did pick up the religious thing that's supposed to make it cheaper to attack people, but it doesn't seem to work. I mean, I guess they were Sunni, but if we look at someone else, yeah, we're not getting the modifier from it. So I actually have no idea what this war on different religion cost modifier does. I feel like it does nothing. That's really interesting. Wow. I was not aware of that. Apparently you keep the king's manor plus 50 proximity source if it's conquered by another country. We have hit the age of absolutism. Now, is there even a question here? Obviously, I'm going admin ideas. Minus 10 prox cost is so good. I guess we can take a look and see if there's anything that would give like tolerance of heathens or something here. I mean, like trade efficiency and trade capacity and monthly diplomats are all really good, but like I can't do it. Ship repair at sea is kind of okay. Yeah, like nothing here is really that important for us. You know what I just remembered? We have some monthly diplomat texts I could have gotten like way forever ago. Like so long ago. I think it's in like the Age of Discovery. But yeah, I'm gonna pick admin focus. And yeah, here are the monthly diplomat texts that I kind of forgot about. Those are gonna be really nice to get. 0.2 monthly diplomats. I realized the reason I keep losing Diplo Hegemon is whenever my ruler gets assassinated, you have to like reload the game for ruler stats to apply sometimes. So that's kind of why. So I had to reload the game to get my ruler stats good. And now we're back to being Diplo Hegemon. I spread a chili good into this province near Hangzhou. I'm gonna make it so profitable. 19 profit per level is kind of insane. Ah, yes, June 10, 228. That's my favorite year. That's definitely happening. Although it's actually gonna happen in like 50 months because I'm using promote institutions and apparently it has a 289% chance of spawning scientific revolution, but a 0% chance of spawning military revolution. I guess that's fine because scientific revolution contains one of the minus procs costs, I think, but I think the other one is in military, if I'm not insane. Yeah, there's one in military down here, but there is one in scientific revolution, I'm sure, as well, down here. I finally discovered the capital of Masi. I had to steal maps from, what's their name? This country over here. So I'm gonna no CB them. We're getting war exhaustion right now because we haven't finished the Mali war, but this should let us finish the Mali war. We just have to like go over there with some of our armies now because they're pretty small, just like 5 locations or something. I'm kind of confused how Masi just ended up being my tributary. Kind of unfortunate. Okay, we can now no CB Naples. This is the final country with colonial nations, I think. Naples has quite a few, mostly in Africa. Actually, I think they're all in Africa. But yeah, that'll be nice to clean up all the colonial nations. Also, we have a little bit of a coalition here, including some of our tributaries. I think maybe they got independence. I think I granted some of my tributaries independence because there's like an event where you can grant your tributaries independence or get minus 50 relations with them. So yeah, we're gonna try to annex the Jarwanids here. Also, we have like Hosiala in this war and stuff, so lots of nice territory to annex, which will be good to get. We need to, annex a whole lot more countries. I think there's around 200 countries that have territory remaining, because you can see a lot of these are people countries that have no territory. I think there's roughly 200 countries with territory, although I could be wrong. There might be way less. We have at least 80 subjects, so there's at least 80, and then there's like 10 here and stuff. Oh, we're also at war with these guys. I think I shipped my army away from here is the only thing. Not ideal. I think I accidentally White pieced Aragon or what? I must have accidentally pieced them out or something. I'm so confused. Oh, Naxos was the war leader. I thought they weren't the war leader because they're a subject, but apparently they were the war leader. Okay. Well, that's a little bit unfortunate. Well, 1.0.8 just came out of open beta, so we now have to play on it. This has some advantages, like letting us explore inland, but I think this is probably most. I mean, I thought this was going to be kind of bad because we're getting a ton of decentralization progress from our vassals. So we want to get out of this war with Aguaribe as fast as possible, but I still want to annex them because otherwise we will just lose all of our stuff here because it will say it's disconnected. So we gotta go for the full annex on Aguaribe, but you can see we're making a lot more money, and that's because our trade income is way higher and our cost of court and stuff are way lower. These things are lower because economic base no longer includes trade, and our trade income is way higher because our crown power is higher. And to be honest, uh, oh, okay, I think this is a very temporary boost. Yeah, so that what they changed is they made House of Parliament consume 10 times less nobles. And so I guess when you load the save, you get plus 200% crown power until it unemploys again. Yeah, that's gotta be what's happening. Okay. Well, I gotta try my best to annex Aguaribe as fast as possible. I've got most of their forts at this point. Yeah, only 4 forts remaining. I think I should be shipping over another army. My navy should be in place to do that. Yeah, it is here, although it's slightly damaged. Should be able to ship over another army. Is it really only 72 ships? I thought it was way more than that. But, I should be able to ship over a decent amount of troops. What? Oh, it's not actually there yet. Okay, we have to actually wait for it to be there. Really? I can't fit 72,000, or I can't fit 12,000 ships, or 12,000 troops there? Dang. What? That's not the amount of troops I wanted. Huh, it says it can transport up to 28,000. Okay, now it's letting me put them all on. So, I'm not really sure what's going on there, but okay. We can try our best to get over to Aguaribe. Just, we probably want to go down to like here and then carpet siege with this army while this army deletes all of the forts and then carpet sieges in the north. Okay, I finished the war with Aguaribe. Now I have 2 rebellions that I need to crush before I can hopefully um, start canceling all of my vassals to stop the bleeding of centralization progress. Because I don't want to go decentralized. Crown power is very important so they can make money from trade. Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to carpet siege this country over here as fast as I can. Also, I should maybe check if there's any rebels that are close and maybe use rebel crackdown if I'm not gonna reach them too quickly. Nubian patriots. Um, uh, these rebels are kind of annoying. We got 2 rebel groups that are pretty close to procking. I called Parliament for expand expand paid road network because I realized that my my people were getting mad because I hadn't called Parliament recently enough, and now states are a little bit happier. But I guess I'll take contain military revolution because it's actually not that many locations I was taking military revolution away from. I don't think that that quite makes any sense. I'm getting negative political strength in my population, and then it's getting multiplied by negative 14,000%. Um, huh. And it's exactly 50%. Okay, well, this is very odd. I am just going to start releasing some subjects. We need to go max Diplo spending to release subjects as fast as possible. Last time I tried releasing subjects, the game crashed, and that's how I've gotten into this situation. So, hopefully this time the game doesn't crash. Unfortunately, we're gonna need a lot of diplomats to release these subjects, but yeah, we're gonna try our best. We need like 40 diplomats because we got like 40 vassals, and so this is gonna take like 5 years or something to release all of our subjects. I can now embrace scientific revolution, which is gonna be very good. I'm gonna cancel all the texts I had queued up because they're nowhere near as important as rushing some scientific revolution text. Oh, what? Interesting. They made the tech tree like this when you zoom out. Yeah, we want to go for this -10 proximity cost. And then by then we'll probably have military revolution, but in case we don't, I'll probably go for this 5 power projection, because that'll make it slightly cheaper to declare no CB wars. The Horde succession crisis is finally over. What? Did they patch it? Am I like normally able to crown the regent? No, but apparently the crown the regent event is triggering. I thought you had to complete the requirements to take the throne for this event to happen. But finally, we can finally crown the regent and end the Horde civil war disaster. Well, we need a tiny bit more Horde unity, but we will get that in just a second. And the end of the Horde succession crisis is finally here. So that's good. That might mean we trigger court and country soon, though. I'm not sure if hordes can trigger court and country. I kind of assumed they could, but I would think I would be able to see the disaster triggering. So maybe they can't. Okay, we do get court and country. Um, if we do this, we get -15 estate satisfaction equilibrium, so that's really not an option. And this one gives us -25 horde unity. But we also get like some good modifiers. So I guess this is the one we have to take. Yeah, we're kind of poor. I kind of think we need to revoke the demi privilege for not taxing them because I'm so poor. I think it's the only option. We can give it back later to stop rebellions once we get the -10% prox cost from military revolution. But I can't do this right now. We need the money. Yeah, that'll be good. Although it's going to make us get a lot more revolts. But we just have to do it, I think, to get a decent amount of money. I guess I should use the court and country buttons to, like, delete some nobility privileges, because that should help get my crown power up a lot, which will be nice. Yeah, we'll get rid of those privileges. That seems pretty good. That should help reduce nobility power a little bit, which will help increase crown power, because nobles are by far our highest estate power interest group, or estate. The final thing to grant independence to is Bengal. Now, I can't grant independence to this appanage. Apparently, we're going to have to annex that with the annex subject interactions. But yeah, we're finally done granting subjects independence, so I can get back to actually declaring wars. And we have a pretty big coalition to fight, so that's going to be pretty nice. Um, Although a lot of my armies are on the British Isles, I should probably ship them back, because they're not really doing much on the British Isles, really. Yeah, I should probably ship back these 3 armies from the British Isles, because the British Isles, I don't think that there's going to be any rebellions there. And as long as there aren't rebellions, I mean, there might be rebellions there. But I think we're fine. Surely our levies will be enough. We can just go send these guys back onto continental Europe to help out with, what's it called? Dealing with the coalition, because we're going to be fighting a pretty decently large coalition war, I believe. Can we like check this? Yes, this is the coalition. Okay, so it's all of the people we granted independence to in Europe, and then a bunch of people in Southeast Asia as well, and quite a bit in India. That's gonna be nice, but I annex all those guys. Yeah, I think it's time to declare war on the coalition, decking Jaunpur. Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty big war. That'll be good to get us most of our subject land back. Although we're also in a bunch of secessions, like it looks like Morocco seceded. Also, we have a little bit of an unfortunate thing going on as of recently. Um, Wait, what? How do we have men at arms with 1,000 strength that are professionals? I'm so confused. Uh, okay. Well, what was I gonna say? I can't remember. Unfortunately, it's pretty hard for me to find my professional troops, which is actually gonna make this war a little bit tougher. You could make an argument for disbanding the levies just so that we can find our pro troops easier. I'm gonna try my best to disband levies so we can find our professional troops. Yeah, that seems like a good plan. And then I'm gonna re-raise the levies because we are gonna need them to help out with because otherwise we get like a huge penalty for being under, I think. Or actually, I'm not investing in stability, but it gives like a morale penalty as well, right? Yeah, -25% for being under expected army size. Proximity cost reduction, -10%. Unfortunately, we still don't have military revolution. Yeah, like at all. We have a decent amount of it in Hangzhou, I think, but the problem is, yeah, our odds of getting it spreading is super low for some reason. That's really unfortunate, but our proximity, oh yes, that's pretty good. Yep, yep, yep. Now all of Germany is sitting at like 50 control. Pretty good. Um, it might be worth moving the capital to Tunis to get the minus proximity cost through land from North African stuff. Hmm. We're slowly winning this war. It's taken a while. I just annexed Eretnids, which is good. I don't know if Kurdistan is maybe good to go for. I think, yeah, our war does not have too many people left. The only problem is like Pahang. Their navy was kind of blocking me, although their navy seems to have gone away. It might just be hiding, and then when I go out, it's gonna kill me, but maybe not. If I can land onto these islands, that'll be good. Yeah, I'm trying to kill Pahang. We're getting down to the final few countries. Like, what, after this war, the only major countries we're gonna have left are gonna be like Karupana, which I don't plan on killing, and then the countries over here. Of course, there's some small countries other than that, like Cahokia and stuff, but all of the big countries are kind of getting dealt with by this point. I guess actually Bengal is something we should start working on soon. Time to fight the next coalition war. This one's kind of big, but it's not that big, really. We will be fine. Bengal doesn't have any 1,000 garrison forts, so my two armies should be enough. Oh, I didn't realize this army was all levies. No, it's not all levies, but it's got a lot of levies in it. Oh yeah, 18,000 of it are levies. Not perfect. I will split this into like two. I'm gonna try my best to siege down all of the forts of Bengal as fast as possible and then deal with all the other people in this war, obviously. We've got a bunch of our tributaries over here in like Central Asia that I created. I can probably just tell my guys to carpet siege this. I don't imagine that these guys have significant armies or forts. I accidentally pressed a button to destroy a heathen autocephalous patriarchate. No! Next war, I'm going to declare a no CB. I was actually justifying a CB on Caravana, but I realized they have a tributary here, so I should just no CB them. I also just landed a bunch of new troops in the New World, which will be very useful for killing the New World guys, because we don't have that many troops over there, except we have some troops in Mexico that I've been using, but there is this Darien Gap impassable terrain, unfortunately. Oh, this calls in Aztecs, or Aulocan. So that's kind of good as well. That's another country we can conquer. I pressed the annex country button on them in the peace deal thing, but they have this island. And I was thinking they were a revolter because normally you can't press that button, but for some reason I could. That's quite unfortunate. Apparently I ended up right back at war with them. Actually, that's good because I deleted most of the forts in their territory, so it won't be that bad to reconquer it. I'm gonna take this Ministry of Justice thing in the Middle Kingdom because it's 20 years for some pretty cheap penalties, and we get, minus 0.05 monthly rebel growth and minus 5 pop join and leave rebel threshold, which I think is overall better than the penalties than the bonuses we're getting from this stability. So I'm gonna take that, and that's gonna be pretty nice to get a little bit less rebel growth because we are having quite a lot of loading rebels right now. And I want to get at peace because we have like a country we need to grant independence to again. So we need to get to peace. Also, I think we need to declare war on these guys because they're a subject of our subject. So we need to get at peace for that. Okay, well, being at peace here will let me no CB Guinean coast, or not no CB them. Specifically, I'm no CBing their secessionists right here, because I mean, you could argue this is okay because they're a subject of our colonial nation, but I think it would be cooler if we don't have to use subjects of our colonial nations. So I guess I'm gonna be full annexing the Guinean coast. I managed to ship some troops over to Hawaii, which is nice. These are some of the last countries we have left to deal with. I'm also dealing with the Inca. Yeah, we're starting to get to the end of the run. We only have 17 years left, so that makes some sense if we want to complete by 1700. Interesting, these countries have so little power projection that I can declare war on them for 0 stab cost. I think that this is the only one that's like that. I don't know why they have such a low power reduction that I'm able to deck on them for literally zero stability. I guess I need to split this in two. Wow. Gotta really split it up because my navy really died. So much of my navy died shipping the troops over here. So I'm pretty sure there are like three countries hiding in these islands that I can't see. And you might notice my exploration is going to take till 2250. So we're going to cancel all these explorations that are happening in places where they just aren't possible. And instead, I'm going to set up this exploration to come from a place where it should actually be able to get resources, like Eastern Java. And hopefully we can explore that in time. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to. We are kind of running out of time, but I'm pretty sure we'll get there. So far, things are going pretty good. Just decking on Norway. What I've been doing is making a ton of spy networks, justifying CBs, and then canceling the spy network. Did I forget to justify a CB on Benin? I guess with my next diplomat, I'll justify a CB on them and then cancel the spy network. That's pretty much what I've been doing. So I created some navies here so we can invade Sweden. Norway's got quite a lot of territory we've got to go for, but it should be fairly doable. I do just need to get like a one fleet to go up here, I guess, and deal with this island. Or no, we need at least two actually to have enough to what's it called? Have enough to pick up one stack of troops. I'm annexing these guys because they're a secessionist subject type. I think we got them when we killed Colony of Guinea Coast. I guess we got them fully annexed before we got these guys fully annexed. You can see they're so much smaller than us that we're getting 2,700% bonus from being so much smaller. Of course, that it doesn't make sense because we have almost 10,000 times the people. Well, I think it's time to try to stop rebellions. I'm gonna enact lighter taxation for the Dhimmi. That'll get them easily up to 100 satisfaction. Then I'm gonna bribe the nobility and ulama a little bit, and hopefully this should end most rebellions in our country. Because, yeah, we need to be done with rebellions by 1700 so that we can actually, annex everything. Because if there's rebellions, then that is not a world conquest. We're really getting close to the end, although we still have to explore Tonga and Samoa. We're really getting closer than that. I've been no CBing a couple countries, but also justifying CBs. Yeah, we're really getting close. There's not that many countries remaining at this point. You got like some pirate republics over here. I am going to have to accept it kind of technically not being a one tag because pirate republics of our colonial nations. I'm not fighting our colonial nation. It's like all of our colonial, or at least two of our colonial nations have pirate republic subjects, and it's just so annoying. I don't want to fight that. I don't even know if I'll be able to annex them because the peace deals are so broken with pirate republics. I've discovered Tonga. I think we've got like 2 more years till we discover Samoa, which also has a country. Pretty sure that there's no more island countries on them. I like have a save viewer up, and I'm looking around, and that's seemingly the only one. Papal State's gonna get killed now, and we're also working on Tuitonga. After this, it's just gonna be Pirate Republics and Samoa, I think. I forgot about Andorra. They just became diplomatic hegemon. So yeah, we're gonna kill them real quick. The exploration of Samoa is done. No CB. I think this might be the final war. I mean, I'll have to double check after I do this, but this could be the end. And oh, they have another island. But we're basically done. I mean, assuming that this is the final country. I'm like 90% sure. But to be fair, I have missed a lot of countries and then found them later. So I will have to double check because otherwise it would be very embarrassing if I forgot something. Kind of like I forgot, what's it called? I forgot like Hong Kong or something in a like uniting the Mongol Empire video. That was so ridiculous that I forgot something so small. Well, I did the check, and you can see here I pressed the capture screenshot button on pdx.tools, and it shows me top realms subjects included. There's three things there: Russia placeholder, which I assume is uncolonized land, and Itzachemene, or whatever, which I believe is the country right here that supposedly does not exist. So yeah, that's the end of the run. Some concluding thoughts for this run. It definitely would have been better to form China instead of Russia and not take the mandate, because that way we would have gotten 90 free mandate when we formed China, which would have been huge. We would have been able to get Zhongdu a lot earlier, and that would have just been overall a little bit better. Also, I guess we can take a look at map modes. That's really the main thought I have, is that we should have formed China instead of Russia. We can see proximity is looking pretty solid. It would be so much better if Zhongdu was working properly. Like, we would have 84 proximity down here, but yeah, we don't get that, unfortunately. If Zhongdu was working, we would have so much proximity. Or if we just got military revolution. We got really unlucky with military revolution spawning in a place where it couldn't really spread anywhere easily. So it's like way late on the institution. I guess we can also take a look at some other map modes. Of course, the saves for this will be in the description. I believe this is save 18. We can take a look at integration and see most of the stuff we've owned for super long has integrated at this point. I mean, like, except for like, no, this stuff we all conquered from our tributaries, I think, and vassals. So yeah, that explains why that's been. I'm actually like not sure why Hungary has been so loyal the entire game. Like, feels like Hungary has no conquered penalty or something. Maybe Hungary changed their primary culture to Emilian or something, because I know they've been rebelling over here. Did Hungary change their primary culture to this or something? Because I feel like they always rebel as Hungary. We can take a look at religion map mode. I imagine not much has changed because we do have like minus 100% conversion. Actually, most of China has flipped Sunni. And we ended the run with some debt. That's just because I wanted to avoid rebellions. Obviously, if I got rid of lighter taxation, we could, and I started taxing the chieftains, we could pretty easily stop just running infinite debt, but it was just easier to do it this way. We have like 3 million debt we could have taken, so we could have started doing no taxes a lot earlier. I'm pretty sure. Why is the game lagging like this? Yeah, 3.5 million pretty much left for us to get loaned, which is almost what we had when we first took out loans. So it seems like the states are kind of gaining money to loan us out at the same rate we're gaining money in debt. So that's kind of interesting. You can see in China we've got a bunch of places that have actually 100 control, which is pretty cool. I decided to click on a random place in India to see how a roundabout proximity tracking can get. And you can see how insane this path is. It goes through the water here because this is effectively free, and it's better than going through land because it's one less tile or something. And then it goes around like here to avoid the Mongolia area that has some proximity cost reduction or proximity cost increases. And then it goes through the steps like this, and then through Iran like this, and it finally makes it down into India. And then from there, it's mostly straight, although it has this sort of weird thing near the coast here. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. I'll quickly show tax base. And yeah, I think that's the end of the video. So, goodbye!